Everybody, welcome to the stream. And you didn't share your screen yet. Welcome to the stream, everybody.
I have to add it to the stage. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to RC Live. We are back once again. I know we haven't been live Thursday because of technical computer issues, but today we are making up for it and we are going live right now. Hopefully, everyone in the audience is doing good tonight. I'm having a good night myself. I'm today joined by Torrin, like always, and also a new guest, co-host, kind of. Pat Rock, what is up, Pat Rock? How you doing? First time on the show.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I could be in better circumstances, but you know, that's just life.
Yeah, that's just life, and you know, it sucks what you're going through and stuff, but end of the day, it's like, you know, we're still breathing.
Anyway, if anybody would like to help out, donate on patreon.com. No, I'm fucking with you. No, that ain't fucking happening.
We will, whenever your GoFundMe does go public, we'll be sharing it on the show.
I don't know well, I need a third party to set that up because otherwise it's a conflict of interest.
I mean, we could discuss
think about it. Like, if you're a charity for somebody, you can't go and make your own charity. You can't be like, hey, donate to my charity. Who's it for? Me! It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I just realized that I'm looking at Fritanga's recommended videos there to the side. A lot of variety there.
And besides that point, I don't even know how I would get the money because, well, you don't have Zelle.
He listens to jazz. He watches videos on Joe Rogan. He watches GTA videos. He also watches Dragon Ball, apparently.
Who are we talking about?
Then again, he's Mexican, so go figure. Mexicans love Dragon Ball.
All right, so today we'll be talking about Nintendo and Pokemon Fatshame fans. Literally the only audience, fat people. We get to dive into that today. Glitch, go ahead and play the video as we get right into it.
All right, now we're going to swing the pendulum in the complete opposite direction. This next nominee might be one of the funniest people on YouTube.
That's got to be me,
at least.
You're damn right I am.
A few times before, I've showed up on some of his streams and made a few comments. He's definitely not somebody that I align with pretty much anything that he says.
Who
outside
does?
Of criticisms of Nintendo.
It better be me.
But I do find him hilarious.
It better be me.
That's a big reason why he gets nominated today.
I'm
talking about Fratanga.
Yes!
So the reason I chose Fratanga for this is not because I think he intentionally makes fun of Nintendo just for the sake of being disingenuous. Like, he clearly has a distaste for the company and the way it operates and the way it runs. He doesn't even like Nintendo games. And he actually has some very well thought out, researched content in regards to the Pal World lawsuit. But the reason everybody thinks he's a grifter and everybody calls him a grifter is because he goes out of his way to make Nintendo the butt of all jokes.
Yeah.
Like, he is proud to be known as a Nintendo hater.
Yes, I am.
Nintendo Switch 2 ended up selling 300 million units. He would still go out there and talk about how there are 300 million idiots.
The reason why he does it is because he truly hates Nintendo. Like, that's just who he is. He hates Nintendo, and it ain't no like I've seen that all the time on Twitter. Be like, he only hates Nintendo, the grift. In fact, he loves Nintendo. He loves everything they're doing. No, I can tell Fritanga's being genuine. He's a genuine Nintendo hater. He truly hates Nintendo. Now, Fratanga is a former Nintendo fan, like the former 2000s. I know he's played Nintendo games in the past, but Nintendo's fucked up, so now he's, criticizing Nintendo like you should, because at the end of the day, Nintendo is running like shit. That's just how it is. That's how it's always been. They've been running like shit. Their games, they're not putting quality in their games, not putting effort into the game. So why would someone like Fratanga or myself even like Nintendo when they are purposefully not, putting effort into the games and making their games good? And then when you call them out, they're threatening to sue you.
Okay, I got a big question, right? Because I have no clue what the hell you guys are talking about. What the hell is
Fratanga? About Nintendo.
Like, rub me up on this. Who is Fratanga and what does he do?
He's a content creator that we react to on the show. He basically, calls out Nintendo for the bullshit. Basically, calls out Nintendo and Pokemon and the games, and reviews their games and basically makes critiques about the games
I
and
don't know
stuff.
about reviews, but
Well, not
he definitely
reviews, but
shits
like he
on it.
covers them.
Yeah.
So he's like the Angry Joe of Nintendo.
Yes, Angry Joe
I
of
guess.
Nintendo. Yeah. He's
Except
basically the
less
Angry
liberal.
Joe of Nintendo, and we're basically like Angry Joes as well because we use his content to like basically further our own arguments against Nintendo. Because Tanga does a lot of good deep dive research into Nintendo, and that's why like we cover him on the show.
I don't know about deep dive research, but he does know some stuff. So, and his coverage of the Power World lawsuit's pretty good. So, there's that.
Hold on, I got to look at these texts that Joe was sending me.
All right, but you can unpause it now.
Units, he would still go out there and talk about how there are 300
I'll
million
explain to you
idiots
later
out
what
there,
the
in his
hell I'm
opinion.
doing.
Yes,
And I think
sir.
it makes his hatred of Nintendo very unique, very different from the other people that are on this list, and really most of the content creators online that are critical of Nintendo in general. Like most of us do this because we are massive Nintendo fans and we don't like the way Nintendo's going.
Loser.
This guy does it because he thinks it's funny to make Nintendo
Yes,
fans
sir.
cry. And
Welcome.
cry has he made them do. He also
I
made
love
an
it.
entire rap called Gotta Sue 'Em All. Honestly, for that alone, he would be making this list. And
Let's
that's why the
go.
third nominee for the Nintendo Grifter of the Year
Let's
goes
go.
to Fratanga of Fratanga
Let's
Players.
go. Vote.
Following Fratanga
vote,
is actually
vote.
one of the smaller YouTubers on this list.
I'm
I think
small?
technically.
I'm small. I mean, yeah.
I mean, you could
it's kind of
technically
small.
say because I would say he's medium sized because he is over 100K. But to a lot of people, 100K is small. But I wouldn't consider that small because look at our size. We only got we're not even at 500 yet. So he's basically
He's
like
getting
big
bigger,
Jesus to
so
us.
he's like expanding quickly.
Yeah, in fact, I think he's almost hitting the 120K mark. He's about to hit that soon if he hasn't
Yeah.
hit it already.
I received a nomination for Nintendo Grifter of the Year.
Douchebag of the year.
Well, grifter / hater, because if I was grifting, I would have money, and I would be pretending to hate Nintendo, and none of those things are true. I'm as broke as iDubbbz and his girlfriend. Yeah, I know. Thanks for reminding the people, Husky. And my hatred of Nintendo is 100% authentic. I think that's why people like this channel. It might
About as
also
broke
be causing me a
as,
lot of
Pat-
problems. A lot of people hate me because I hate Nintendo, which is a bizarre thing, but nonetheless, go cast your vote. You know who to pick. And give Nintendo some traction for that video because that was hilarious. And a reminder that you should smash the subscribe button. Nintendo hate is addicting. It's why my eyes glow red. You assume it's the THC, but no. It's just the salt from Nintendo, guys, gets me really.
Fratanga, buddy,
No,
you
that-
really need to lay off the drugs. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie, look, if you're watching, I don't care you do drugs, I don't care what you do in your personal life, but we can't even hit you up. Not even It's a Gundam can get a hold of you. Like, there's people behind the scenes like wanting to get a hold of you, but then you never respond. I don't know if it's because you're actually busy or you're strung out, but we need you in behind the scenes for Tango. We want you back on the show. And if you're strung out, we can't get you back on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, we can. We just need you to respond. Like, even if you're strung out, just take 2 seconds, be like yes or no, because I don't even know if he knows what he's at all the time. But he does good on his videos, though. I'm sure he's sober for his videos and shit. But
Is there a
now,
way
Cliff
for me to
is
exit
right.
out of this app and then come back without it like logging me out?
No. I mean, if you need to exit real quick, you can go. But no, you can't.
I can't go and
Glitch
switch
can always,
between screens and
if
shit?
you need to exit for like a second to check something, Glitch can always like pull you back.
Yeah, I need you to keep an eye on the chat, though, because I'm going to be watching the video in the other chat.
Yeah.
Wait, where
Which I'll
would
keep
you
out.
find the chat?
Well,
Like,
we're
where do
kinda-
you find that?
What do you mean? Well, you found what?
Oh, here's the comments. Okay, I can see the chat now. Cool.
Yeah, it's off to the side there.
Sorry, I'm on mobile, so I can't.
Alright.
No,
it's
you're
different.
good. I'm on mobile too, but I have my other phone like checking DMs and stuff. Anyways, back to the show. But yeah, no, Fratanga, I feel like Fratanga's hatred of Nintendo is definitely real, 100%. I know there's a lot of people that say, no, it's not. It's fake. He doesn't
It's
really
all
hate
grifting.
Nintendo. It's all grifting. It's all for money. If he was a grifter, he would be kissing Nintendo's ass, and all of you would be giving him money. Let's be real. All the Nintendo fans that
let's
say
be
that
honest
would give
about the
him
term
money.
grifting. People have forgotten what it actually means, and they just use it for a content creator they don't agree with or don't like.
Isn't
You know,
grifting
people-
basically ripping people off?
Yeah, it's like ripping
It kind
people
of is,
off,
but
you're
it's
scamming,
basically,
you don't.
yeah, and you don't actually care about what you're preaching. You just want to make money off of it.
Like,
Yeah,
for
you just wanna make
example, like,
money.
do you remember the Juicero?
No, but I remember Anita Sarkeesian. She was a grifter. She's still a
No,
grifter.
well, the Juicero was like this freaking invention that somebody came up with. So it was like a bag of berries that you would put in this machine that had to be like one of those things where you need an app to use it. It was like a juicer where you need an app to use it, and it would squeeze the bag and it would squeeze the juice into a glass. And you had to pay for the bags. It was like a subscription for it and all this shit. Oh my god. I would recommend watching what's his name?
When you said Juicero, I thought it was something else.
No, Juicero. What's his name? That YouTuber you guys like, Charlie, whatever, Penguins.
Oh, Voice Critical.
I don't really
Moist
watch
Critical.
Voice Critical.
I'm not gonna
He has
lie,
a
I don't
full
really
video on
watch
it.
him. Like, I don't really like him anymore because that guy's an actual grifter. Because he used to actually be true and genuine, but
He's a
then
fence-sitting piece of shit.
lately he's been fence sitting just because he basically wants to match his audience's opinions instead of his own. He basically babies his audience too much and gives them what they want way too much. And that's why you see him fencing, because every time he makes a true, honest take and his audience backlashes, he'll always bend the knee like a little bitch and be like, "I'm wrong, guys," even though he wasn't. And he always like submits to his audience. And that's the problem with him, is he submits to his audience and he's a bitch. And Fratanga doesn't do that. Fratanga actually, has legitimate criticisms and all of his audience. In fact, when Fratanga was on this show, he was fighting with his audience.
Oh no, he was joking with them. But
no, I know, but still, it's like Fratanga ain't no bitch.
He did a stream where he talked about Charlie Kirk, right? He had a bunch of leftists saying, I'm unsubscribing, blah, 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 blah. And he didn't really give a fuck, honestly.
Good. And that shows he's not a grifter. Like, people want to say he's a grifter, but it's like those people, literally, his own audience is basically telling him, "Oh, you can't care. You can't cry. I'm unsubscribing if you don't celebrate Charlie Kirk dying." And then he's like, "All right, go, bye. I don't need you." Because Fratanga's true to himself. He doesn't care what other people think. He only cares what he thinks. And that's how you know if someone's genuine or not, is if they tell you their true takes. Because if you're not being honest about your takes, why even have your fucking takes? You know what I mean?
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, but yeah, the Moist Critical video I'm talking about is like an OG
Fratanga is
video
a
from when he first
grifter.
started.
Muffin, shut up. You know nothing about grifting, bro. If you think Fratanga's a grifter, then you know nothing about grifting, bro.
The Muffin's trolling again. Muffin, we're going to have to get out the newspaper if you keep it up. Anyway.
What newspaper?
The one I'm going to whack him upside the nose with. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
And I know it gets you lit too. So help me get to 118,000 subs. Hell, get me to 120,000 and I will do a cover of I'll do an acoustic cover of Chrono Trigger. I'll play it melodically on the guitar for you. Yeah. I promised you a poke rap. I lived up to it. I can do it again. Anyways, time for some Nintendo hate. So grab your haterade, kick back, and let's go over one of the funniest stories I've come across today. Now, I seriously wish this story wasn't true.
Goat
because
Simulator
it's too
music
good
again.
to be true.
in the
And it
background.
makes me question if I'm, inhaling too much cannabis. But no, it's very real. Apparently, Pokemon fans are simply too fat to go to the
Fat!
amusement park
he's
or
fat
something.
meme I
in
always play on
Tokyo.
the soundboard.
The truth is, I wish.
Yeah, it's literally where is it? Oh, this one.
He's fat!
He's fat.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't a lot of Nintendo fans fat, anyways?
Yeah, there's a good portion of them. Not all of them, though.
Making this up, but no, it's real. Pokemon fans will need to pass a fitness test.
Though I doubt most of them are in Japan. They're mostly here in the West.
Yeah, no, the fat fans are literally people in the West, because there's not really a lot of fat people in Japan.
I mean, there are fat people, but they're not nearly as common.
Yeah, and they're not nearly as obese either.
Yeah.
Like American fat and Japan fat is different. But yeah, you can unpause it now.
New Tokyo theme park.
So, summary of what's going on here. A Tokyo theme park opened up a permanent section that's dedicated to Pokemon, themed after the Pokepark games, right? And basically, to get there, you have to climb up a large flight of stairs. And if you can't do that, you can't go.
So that's why it's in the title of Fat Shaming, because they're
how
basically
fucking fat are you to the point where you can't even walk up fucking stairs?
Oh, trust me, all the Nintendo American fans, a lot of them are that fat. Like Boogie2998 fat.
Yeah.
God, that's a
like
throwback.
Harmon Smith, a rather infamous Nintendo fan that everyone makes fun of because he's literally a fucking Nintendo lolcow.
And he's also fat as fuck, too.
Yeah. And he talks like this, actually. Yeah.
He kind of
One
sounds
of
like
those
Sunny
guys.
Glaze Studios a little bit, but Sunny Glaze Studios is actually surprisingly not fat.
Yeah. He's Aussie, too, so that's why. Anyway.
Makes sense.
You gonna eat that dead fat guy?
Pokemon is getting its very own theme park in Tokyo, Japan, but attendees will need to pass a fitness test to ensure they can actually catch them all. Oh god, I feel bad for Nintendo Prime. He ain't gonna be able to get on the ride.
Stop it! Cut it out! I have a glandular problem.
That'll be $60.
I'm kidding, Nintendo Prime. I know he won't take that too serious. Yeah, sure, Tokyo. It's not because these rides are meant for children and the adults trying to get on are told they just need to lose weight. But reality is you don't want to tell them the truth. They're grown-ass adults who shouldn't be riding little kids' rides or playing Pokemon or being obsessed with it because it's supposed to be for like 8 to 12-year-olds. Who knows? I mean, it is Japan. The people are tiny in every department. Pokemon is finally getting the theme park treatment with its very own section inside the Yomiuri Land amusement park in Tokyo, Japan. Yomiuri Land, whatever the fuck it's called, is Tokyo's largest amusement park and is open year-round with seasonal attractions like pools to cool off during the summer, cherry blossom viewing in springtime, and even special lights for the winter holidays. Yes, very soon, Pokemon fans will get to enjoy catching in real life all year long. Oh my god. Can't believe.
Damn, I can't believe. Pause it. I can't believe Pokemon fans will have to pass a fitness test before that.
Yeah, the fitness test is literally climbing up a flight of stairs.
If you can't climb the flight of stairs, you can't be at our event. We don't want you. Sorry. That is fucking sad.
Fuck.
Hi, this is Chudi. Oh, Chudi did show up. I wish you would have texted me a little earlier, but after this segment, we can get you on. After we finish this video, if that's fine with you. But yeah, unpause it.
In an article, oh my god, the cringe. how do Pokemon fans live with themselves? Like, how do you live carrying that shame? I don't understand. I gotta catch them all on my 3DS, catch them all on my Switch, catch them all on my TV, catch them all on my mobile phone. Now I gotta catch them.
Okay, it's okay. So Chudi's gonna come on after we're done. Which we got? How much do we have left?
Let's see. We're 5 minutes 54 seconds in. The video's 15 minutes 33 seconds long.
Oh, we got 10 more minutes. Okay, we got 10 more minutes. So yeah, 10 more minutes of covering this, and then we'll get you on.
Maybe a little bit more counting like
yeah. So probably like 20 minutes, just like last time. And I'm sure, yeah, he said it's okay. So yeah, we'll continue it. But still so funny that that the biggest Nintendo fans can't even go to the Pokemon event because they can't climb a flight of stairs because they're so fat. They're basically insulting their own fans by doing this. It's so funny. It's basically proving our point when we say that Nintendo fans are filled with fat sacks of shit.
Yeah, the Nintendo fan base is filled with fat losers that don't actually have any jobs and stuff.
And have anything going with their lives.
They really don't.
Some bitches. It's a permanent attraction that was first announced in summer 2025 with a planned opening date of spring 2026. In November 2025, news broke that Pokemon Kanto will open on February 5th, 2026, but the trainers should be aware of a strict requirement before they make plans to go there. Indeed, I think you guys should put out a big sign on the front that says, "Not for adults." Much like the beloved Pokemon games, it seeks to emulate Pokepark Kanto will have 2 separate sections. Anyway, let's just go to the part that matters. Because of this, Pokepark Kanto's ticket policy states that hopeful trainers must have the ability to climb 110 steps without assistance. Oh, good luck. You're talking about Nintendo and Pokemon fans. Those guys can barely walk to the fridge. They can barely walk to the toilet. Why would you build an amusement park around the most unfit community on this planet? Whose idea was that? Was the whole idea that
Probably
Pokemon was tired of
I can answer his question. You know why they're doing it? Probably because they're tired of these fat people at their events and they don't want to look weird. They don't want to look like they're catering to a bunch of mentally ill fat retards. So they're doing this fitness test. And in Japan,
I bet Nintendo's official Pokemon tournament VGC smells like ass and sweat.
Oh, it does. It does. Because that's the thing. Who is in Nintendo's audience? Literal no-lives that don't even know how to take a shower or don't want to take a shower. Let's be real.
It's like any other convention, pretty much. And or tournament, for that matter.
But I think Nintendo's trying to, like, get their conventions to smell better. So they're like, you know what? We're going to make it hard for these fat, smelly people to get in. We're just going to do a fitness test. And then the fat, smelly people, they can't come in. Because they're probably tired of their events smelling like shit all the time.
Their events and their attractions smelling like shit. I bet Pokemon Center in Japan smells real nice.
I mean, probably will now they're doing the fitness test and these fat fucks can't even go into the event.
That was sarcasm, by the way.
I know, but Imagine actually does smell better this time because they're not allowing these fat asses there anymore.
Yeah, well, I don't think they'll ban fat asses with money from the Pokemon Center stores in Japan.
Well, not from the center stores, but from the event.
Yeah, and from this amusement park attraction, yes.
Man, they
won't ban them, but they'll be like,
you know how sad it is? They're like, we still want your money. We want you to spend all your money on our overpriced products, but we're not going to even let you go to our amusement park events. Like, are Nintendo fans going to ever wake the fuck up and realize that Nintendo doesn't give a shit about you? And they never did at all?
Nope, they're not.
All right, you can unpause it.
At least back when Iwata was in charge, they had some integrity. They don't even have that anymore.
Nope. Having integrity is evil now, supposedly, according to them.
Yeah.
Fans are? So they built an amusement park to help them lose weight? Because they have too much fat in their head that makes them think Pokemon Legends ZA is a great game? Oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe Game Freak doesn't hate you. Maybe Nintendo doesn't hate you. Maybe they legitimately worry about you and your liver and that colon, that poor little colon in yours. Those who can't won't be able to go into the woods. Wait, what? Those who can't won't be able to go into the woods. Children under 5 are also barred from entry to this area, as well as any kids who can't make the climb, even if they're accompanied by a parent or guardian. So apparently they won't let you into this section of the park if you're too fat. Like, if you cannot do 110 steps, they won't let you go play in the jungle gym. I mean, you shouldn't, because you're an adult, but still, oh my God, you can't make this up. Luckily, there are several different ticket types. Oh my God, so they have fat people tickets? Holy shit, they're gonna literally separate you by your weight class. Oh my God. Which are tacked onto the overall cost of admission for the Yomoria land. One of these types is a lower price. Only allows.
Are leftists going to have an issue with this? Because whenever like right-wing conventions used to fat shame people, they used to complain and be like, you can't fat shame people. That's hate speech. That's hateful. But Nintendo does it, yet they're probably going to be most likely silent on this. Like, that's just such a double standard. Like, that's how you know these people have double standards. Because when Nintendo does this shit and fat shames people, no one's going to complain. But when someone just says or makes a Jew joke, they'll be like, oh, you can't do that. You can't make no Jew jokes. But Nintendo can fat shame their own fans just fine. Like, it's so fucking bullshit. This double standard's bullshit. Nintendo fans are stupid. The leftist community is stupid. All these people are dumb. They're going to allow Nintendo to do this to their own fans, and yet no backlash is going to happen to them. But if we just call someone a Jew or call a left person the F slur, the left is going to try to cancel you. But Nintendo can fat shame them, no problem. Nintendo can fucking shit talk them and spit on them, and they'll still buy the products. They'll still come run into them and buy everything and basically make Nintendo hella money. Like, it's bullshit.
I don't think the Nintendo problem was completely political. I think it's
it's not completely political. but who enjoys Nintendo and like the political party? Mostly leftists. But even it's not just leftists though. It's like, why are these people, right or left, giving money to a company that hates them? These fat people are giving money to a company that doesn't even want them at their amusement park events because they know they smell and are too fucking.
Well, it seems like they have an alternative for the fat fucks to go to, which Tango is about to get to.
They made an alternative. That's more disrespectful.
I know, right?
Oh my God, that is more disrespectful. Let's get into it. Oh my God, that is way more. It gets worse.
Yeah, it's tacked onto the lower price tickets.
Onto the overall cost of admission for the Yomoria land. One of these types is a lower price, but only allows visitors into Sedgetown, rather than the additional Pokemon Forest experience. This is the latest Pokemon-related news to spark discourse online after American football star Tom Brady's store in New York was robbed of $10,000 worth of Pokemon cards. Oh my, every day I look into the Pokemon community, there isn't a single positive good thing to say about them. These people are just, they're a plague to society. They're a plague to gaming. Like, they are the embodiment of consumerism. I mean, Pokemon became the highest grossing franchise of all time because the people who buy into it are massive gluttonous buffoons. Can you believe this is actually a real story? Like, can you believe this is real? I can't. But anyway, we got another story.
All right, I'm back.
Cyber, did you just out yourself as fat? I'm looking at that in chat.
Oh, that's funny. What the fuck? I think is that Cyber?
Yes, that's Kaiju Nexus 456. It's
oh yeah.
CFP. It looks like I can't go. Maybe, maybe not.
That is funny.
It's Cyber ratting himself out there. Anyway.
Let's move on. So apparently Nintendo is having a Black Friday sale. Yeah. Even Nintendo, as greedy as they are trying to have a sale. But then you're reminded it's not much of a sale when there isn't a single Switch 2 game there. Now, $30 for first-party Nintendo games, that would seem like a good idea until you look at what the titles are. And what do we have here? Some prepackaged sports game? Mario Odyssey? Mario Odyssey finally being $30 after how fucking long? Splatoon 3? Wow. Some day-ass Princess Peach game? Donkey Kong Returns. That's finally 30? The Zelda game, that's finally 30. Luigi's Mansion 3, Kirby's Deluxe. This company literally throws you scraps and people say, praise be to Nintendo. I love having discounts on video games even older than my hardware. Do you believe there are actual people out there who think this is a deal? They think Nintendo's doing them a favor? You can go emulate all of these Switch 1 games because that's all they are. They're Switch 1 games, not a single Switch 2 game here. Next, apparently, the Switch 2 is causing so much tension and pressure over there at Sony headquarters that they've decided to do the unthinkable. They've decided to discount their system. PlayStation president Hideki Nishino reportedly pushed through PS5 price cut in Japan after seeing a system slump against Switch 2. Previous management believed it was acceptable for Nintendo to erode PlayStation's market share in Japan. New leadership decided to make a Japanese-only PS5 for the Japanese market, like Nintendo did with Switch 2. Price cut comes at a risk with the Japan-only PS5 possibly being sold at a loss. Oh, God forbid. Remember when taking a loss on console sales was normal for console manufacturers? These guys are too chicken shit to put up with that. These days, they can't.
So, yeah, Sony just slashed the prices of the PS5.
Wow, that's crazy.
Mostly
How
to
much is
compete with a
PS5
Switch
now?
2. I don't know. Good question.
I think I heard like $1,500. I could look it up real
Let's see.
quick.
I can go.
It's not $1,500. It would be like it's $500 right now. So it would have to be something like maybe $300, $250.
MRT PS5. I said market retail price, you piece of shit. Oh, MRTP. That's what I'm missing.
Chat's saying it's 600. All right, but we need to continue this video though.
Average market retail price. That's what it was. I can check it real fast. Okay. So it seems $549 for PlayStation 5, digital edition $499, PlayStation 5 Pro is $749.
I'm not paying that much for a fucking game system.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
It's fucking insane. And they cut the price, so it was probably way more than that. Anyway, back to the
Video,
Can't
yeah.
afford, apparently, to sell a console at a loss and make it up in software. Everything must be profitable for them now. You can see how much it visibly hurts Sony inside to have to give anybody a discount. Just as much as it hurts Nintendo to give people a $30 discount on like 8-year-old games. These two are greedy as fuck. And what's funny
They
is
are
you would think
greedy
that
as
it would
fuck.
benefit consumers.
Yeah. Sony's this close to becoming the Disney of video games, but Nintendo's beating them.
Here, since it's dark, I'm gonna have my camera off for the rest of the
Oh,
stream, but I'm
also-
still here, chat.
I should probably mention recently they've actually went. Usually the Switch was the best way to get like uncensored titles, right? A lot of times, but they've went back on it recently and have been censoring titles. There was a game. It was a collection of games from the Corpse Party series, right? They refused release in the U.S. of the collection, and people had already pre-ordered it too here in the States. Good news is the Japanese version supports full English, and the Switch isn't region locked. So or Switch 2, I should say, isn't region locked. So yeah, that's good.
To see these two competing, but instead you're getting the most bare minimum discounts. New Japanese PlayStation president Hideki Nishino and the Japanese team helped push forward the new Japan-focused measures. So yeah, it seems that after Xbox dropped out, Sony's real competition will be Nintendo. Truth is, neither of those two companies should even be worried about each other because people need a home console and then they need a tablet on the go. So these two can actually coexist in the same market. But the Switch 2 is seeing such.
And you know how they said that Nintendo doesn't like competition?
What?
Well, you know how they say Nintendo doesn't like competition? Well, they really don't have any competition in the console gaming market anymore either, because they're targeting a completely demographic than what Sony is.
What about Xbox? Does Microsoft still make consoles or no?
They said they're not doing it anymore, or at least they're not like they don't have any exclusives anymore. They're literally making games for all consoles, and they went digital only. For the Xbox.
So there's no physical hardware anymore. There's like no.
Yeah,
No.
I actually saw recently they took all the Xbox games off. They ordered stores to take the Xbox games off of all shelves.
Damn! Really? Like there's no longer.
I don't know. I don't know how.
I mean, I
true
heard
it is.
that. I heard that too. Actually, like a few people in the Discord were saying that same thing about.
Yeah, I remember
Xbox
seeing a
wanting to-
Smash JT video about it recently. So
That's insane that they're
because he
basically
actually
trying
went to the store to check himself.
Wait, hold on. Wait, can you hear me? Hello?
My pipe way
Yeah.
too fucking hard. Holy shit!
Yeah, I was just saying he actually went to the store to check himself.
Shit. Hello?
Yes, I hear you, Triton.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Why'd you tell me to...
There. Can you hear me now?
Bro.
Let's try this. Hold on a sec.
Damn.
There. Can you hear me now?
Oh. Motherfucker.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear him too. I guess
No,
he
I
can't
can
hear us.
No, I was saying I could hear you, Jordan.
Yeah, I just can't hear Triton.
Trey needs to be taken out back.
Oh, there he goes. He's rejoining. There's Chudi waiting. Oh, I gotta re-add him to the stage. I'm waiting for him to rejoin so I can re-add him. Where is he?
Is this it? Like, once we finish this video, that's the end of the podcast?
No, we still got Chudi coming on. There he is.
Who's Chudi?
Hello?
The guy from Nigeria. Hey, Triton.
All right, you can hear me now? I'm back.
Yeah, we could hear you, but you couldn't hear us. That's weird.
That was really weird. I know, like, it just, I couldn't hear
See,
you
I
guys.
told you, gang stalking is real, bro.
No. That happens a lot. Like a lot with him. Anyway,
right.
back to
We're
the
almost
video.
done with the, yeah, we're almost done with the
Huge
video.
success that is literally pressuring Sony into making Japanese exclusive sales for a PS5. I am curious to see how much it's eating away at their own business, but I'm willing to bet it's not even a big deal. And Sony's just being insecure about Nintendo per usual because they don't want Nintendo to outdo the PS2, which is like Sony's one accomplishment. And finally, we have some more Pokemon news. Surprised.
The last segment of the video.
All right, continue.
This one hasn't been covered by more people, but apparently Digital Foundry covered the disappointing tech in Pokemon Legends ZA. Our pals over at Digital Foundry have provided their verdict on the recently released Pokemon Legends ZA on Switch and Switch 2, covering the tech utilized and the performance gap between the two consoles. Looking at the visuals in the sole location of Lumio City, Digital Foundry states that the execution is rough around the edges. Even on the Switch 2, one particular highlight is the fact that the majority of NPCs found on your travels are motionless, rooted to spot and set locations. Both versions feature copious pop-in. That's right. Even on the Switch 2, there's a lot of pop-in for this title. While many of the pedestrians also pop out
because they fucking suck at optimization.
when you move closer to them. On a positive note, however, Switch 2 features a lot more detail in environments with sharper textures in general. You know, a sharper texture in a Nintendo game is like going from 720p to 1080p. That's like the biggest leap they can do for you. However, the repeated flat texture maps for buildings, windows, and balconies is called out as being a huge negative, with pixelated visuals when you get close up. Switch 2's biggest upgrade comes with its overall image quality. It utilizes DLSS upscaling to bring the resolution up to a 1440p target while docked and 1080p. Well, you know, I mean, 1440p is only good when, you know, textures are good. If you're playing games with very low polygon count, a very low AA, and just about very low everything else, 1440p will only make the shitty image all that much more clear to you. So
yeah, it really will.
Yeah,
and
really.
as Oz told us last time, the reason why it's killing the performance on these consoles is because they're just literally stacking the same shader on top of it and calling the shader every frame.
Mm-hmm.
It's so lazy and also so inefficient for performance. But Game Freak's known for being very bad at coding shit. They've been like that since the very beginning. Even with Pokemon Red and Green, the games were riddled with fucking bugs and glitches everywhere. And even the localized versions, Red and Blue, had their own
because they don't know how to
bugs.
make good games anymore.
Oh no, this was even back then, back in the 90s. They've never really been good at coding.
But yeah, people give them billions of billions.
Shout out to Satoru Iwata. The only reason we were able to have two regions in the second generation Pokemon games, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, was because Satoru Iwata created a compression tool that allowed them to compress the graphics and allow for more space in the game. So yeah, the more you know.
You'll be able to notice how shitty Pokemon is. Congratulations! Good job, Game Freak. And when it's docked, it will be at 1080p in handheld mode. The difference between the two consoles is night and day. Meanwhile, frame rate for the Switch targets 30 FPS, but often drops into the low 20s. How? How does a game that simplistic in its art direction and graphics, how does it manage to do that? When panning the camera around, the Switch 2, meanwhile, is locked at 60 FPS with only very rare drops. Pretty much what we'd expect. Then, but it's lovely to get proper breakdowns from the tech experts over at Digital Foundry. You can check out their full verdict. Yeah, well, anyway, the verdict is out. Pokemon Legends ZA looks like trash, like I told everybody it did. And there you have it. Those are your topics for today. I decided to throw in more than one. I can't be greedy like Nintendo. I will.
Yeah, Chudi was in the chat a bit ago, or in the waiting to call in.
All right, well, I mean, is the video's done now, right? He can call in now.
Pretty much.
Chudi, if you're still watching, hop in. But while we wait on him to hop back in, Pat Rock, we'll start with you. What's your conclusion on the whole Nintendo fat shaming their own fans by not allowing them to go to amusement parks without a fitness test?
Honestly, I actually agree with Japan on this one. I've been to Japan, man. I love Japan. I love the culture. I love the tradition. I wouldn't change anything about it. The only thing I would change would be give people a fucking living wage, man. There should be no reason why my tour guide there had to hold down 3 fucking jobs and go to 3 jobs a day. That's ridiculous.
That's actually probably more related to their workaholic culture than anything else.
It's because of their tradition. Because their whole tradition is based off samurai tradition, which is basically you work. You kill yourself, basically. You either kill yourself mentally or physically. and it's just from Japanese days. I think it's because what happened was when the Meiji Restoration happened, they decided just to copy and paste what America was doing, and they haven't really left that. So as a result, you have this whole workaholic culture because nobody has realized, hey, people have actually moved on from doing that.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Anyway, Chudi isn't.
He isn't waiting.
No, he isn't yet. He was in the waiting. I was just waiting at him to because we were finishing up the video.
Well, I'm gonna DM him on X, see if he wants to come back and join in. But until then, Glitch, and I'm gonna give my conclusion. I'm gonna give my conclusion after you, but Glitch, give your final conclusion on, the stuff we just went over on the video.
Now to bring up to basically follow up on what Triton said, he basically the whole thing, they were actually offering tickets as a sort of consolation prize. So if you got a cheaper ticket, you could basically go to the Sedgetown part of the attraction. You just couldn't attend the woods.
I can't. Honestly, I see it as disrespectful. That
it kind of is.
Because they're like, oh yeah, we have an alternative for they're basically segregating all the fat fans.
There we go. Oh, yeah, Chudi's here.
All right, you can bring him in.
Okay. Is he actually actively in Nigeria?
Back on the
yes,
air.
He's
You're
in
back
Nigeria.
on the show. How you been, brother?
Yes, I've been good. Nice to have you guys. Nice
of course,
to be with
nice
you
to have you back on the show. It's been 2 weeks now since you last came on.
Yes, 2 weeks. Exactly 2 weeks.
Hey, if you don't mind me asking, what time is it over there?
It's right about now. It's like 5 minutes to 2 in the morning, like midnight, very early in the morning. So
you're 7 hours ahead of us.
Yes,
in the East Coast.
Damn.
6, 7.
Well, sorry that it's that late, but I appreciate you, taking the time to join us late night over there.
Okay, it's okay. It's weekend. It's weekend.
Oh,
it's
it is the weekend, so you could probably stay up there. So how's life been since last time we spoke?
Well, I would say hopefully by the grace of God, it's been good. But on ground, based on what is happening on ground, genocide against Christian, it's getting worse every day. It's actually getting worse every day. It's like President Donald Trump's threatening, like it triggered these guys, like they're like probably maybe before the President Trump comes into Nigeria, let's just do all the damages we could do right now. Let's just do all the killings we could do now. It's actually has gone from, if it was like 60% before, now it is around 80 to 90%. It is getting worse every day.
And Trump needs to speed up the process. Like, I understand he's dealing with a lot going on, but like, it's getting worse than when he said he's going to intervene. And I feel like since it's getting worse, he needs to just intervene like immediately, because these terrorists, instead of stopping, it seems like it made it worse when Trump said, "Hey, I'm going to go over there," because guess what? These people don't really like Trump, and they're just doing it even more now.
That's exactly what it looks like. It's happening. Basically, I would say, it's like an average Muslim have this hatred, towards America, and then towards its president, and most especially Muslim countries like Iran, and who are, I will tell you, are basically one of the major sponsors of this Islamic bandits and terrorists. So I feel because of the hatred and the how would I say, the war between that is always between Iran and most of the Muslims who do not, America or who do not like Trump, you know. So it's like they are like, oh, maybe before Trump storms Nigeria, let's just have do all the damages we have to do.
Mhm.
Like recently, the kidnappings has increased. I don't know if you could go through my page, Twitter page. I posted recently. There's this thing that is going on. About over 300 and something students were kidnapped. Female students were
Oh yeah,
kidnapped
I
in a
saw that
Catholic.
about the students being kidnapped and shit, and it's like it's just not. It's really disappointing to see this genocide getting worse or after Trump, tried to, basically put fear into them. Because what Trump was trying to do was he's trying to put fear into them so they would stop and be scared of him. That way we didn't even have to go to war. But it seems like these people were like, nah, we're not going to back down. We're going to, in fact, make it worse to piss you off even more.
That, that's exactly what it looks like. Kidnapping young children who are in school, and these are young girls. These are young girls as young as 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, who are just still in secondary school, not even up to college or university. you know I wonder how the parents would be feeling at this moment. How the parents will be feeling, how their families and friends will be feeling. And these are kids who basically even mentally and psychologically, being in this situation. I really
Hey,
pity. I really pity them.
hey, Torn,
It's
can
So
you
is this the
can you
Islamic State doing it?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah,
can you
definitely.
add my other account when it joins in? I'm about to join in on my other account again.
Oh yeah, sure.
All right, but continue, Pat
Yeah.
Rock.
So is it the Islamic State doing these attacks?
Definitely, the Islamic States are the ones kidnapping these kids. The Islamic terrorists are the ones doing the kidnappings. There's no kidnapping that is being done by any other, religion or other people in Nigeria as it is presently now. Anywhere you
Oh
hear in
yeah,
the news,
because I figured I asked because I know of the Lord's Army, for example, and I can't remember if they operate in Nigeria. I can't remember if it was Nigeria or Congo where they operated. But I know of the
okay,
Lord's Army, you have the Islamic State.
yeah,
I
yeah,
I could have sworn there was
yeah.
another group. I can't remember the name of the other group.
Okay. Actually, as it is going recently now, the Islamic terrorists, they have different groups. There's Boko Haram, there's ISWAP, and there are different groups under Islamic state just keeps springing up. Then there used to be
Hey,
other
Torn, add my other account.
Okay.
okay.
Let me just remove your other one then.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm leaving on it.
So is this happen? So is Nigeria developed like America is, like how you have the road systems, highway systems, buses, trains, and all that?
Yeah, well, you would actually refer Nigeria to a developing nation, not a developed nation like America. Yeah, we have our road systems, we have rail, we have, electricity, but not up to the standard of what you have in America or you enjoy in America. So when infrastructures too are not up to standard, it could be a kind of challenges to people to actually get to tackle this situation of genocide, terrorism, and kidnap.
Yeah.
Okay, you just recently you heard of the case where a general, something that has never happened in Nigeria, a whole brigadier general was actually overrun in their base, and a general was abducted and eventually beheaded by the terrorist group. So we keep wondering, like, if in at this stage where these people heard that Trump actually wanted to, intervene and help Nigerian military in, tackling and killing all these Islamic terrorists, and all of a sudden these guys have gone crazy. Yeah, yes, in Nigeria, there used to be other groups, like you asked earlier, but those ones, they are in the southeastern part. Those ones are not Islam. They are not Islamic states. They are not terrorists per se. What they are freedom fighters, because at a point in time they said they wanted to, secede, separate from Nigeria to form their own country. So as time went on, I think the whole thing became violent, and there was issue of them confronting the Nigerian military and all that. And I think that one has been put under control since like some 3 4 years ago. So, but the real problem now it's the Islamic State. You saw there was a video I posted on my X page where
Oh yeah,
there
I
was
saw that
where the,
video too. Yeah, when you tagged
yes,
I
me
don't
in it.
have that. I'm sorry, I don't
yes,
have social media, so I
yeah.
haven't seen any of it.
Oh, sorry about that. So, where there was a live service going on in a church, and live streaming it, where these terrorists came into the church live. It's on my page on on X. They came into the church live and started shooting everybody. They shot some church members, and they abducted and kidnapped some church members. Now they have placed ransom on them, and these are not small ransoms. You hear 100 million naira. That's about close to some $100,000. You know, uh, uh, these are families who are still struggling. These are families who are poor, who can afford, who are just trying to make ends meet. And you kidnap them, you take them into the forest, and you are demanding, so much money on them. It's honestly,
But nobody can
it's
afford it. So it's like
And
this
these
catch 22. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
if you don't, you get killed. You get killed. These guys, they don't have mercy.
not gonna
If
give
you can,
up. What do you think Trump should do now that it's gotten worse?
honestly, my honest opinion would be, if it is possible for President Trump to bring American soldiers as soon as possible, like tomorrow, honestly, I wouldn't mind. Honestly, I wouldn't mind, because these guys now, they developed the strategy of going into secondary schools, primary schools, to kidnap female Christian children. And majority of them, what they will be doing with these kids, it's barbaric. Most of them are going to get raped. Most of them are going to be used as shield, because they know, okay, probably because Trump is coming, he's going to be coming to fight, to fight them. Now they could use those children as shield. So it's terrible. I just wonder what those children's parents will be going through now. Over 300 kids.
Damn.
It's devastating. It's
Yeah, because I
something.
remember when they went into that girls' school and they kidnapped them back in like 2014, 2015. Made the
15,
news over
yes,
here. Yeah.
yes.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah, I
think yeah,
remember that.
Chudi, didn't you talk about that specific thing last time we talked?
Yeah, yes, we talked about it. We briefly mentioned it about the kidnapping 2014. And funny enough, Raven, most of those kids are still in the custody of those Boko Haram till today. Not those ones
What?
that were kidnapped. Yes, those ones that were
Oh, I
kidnapped
thought
in
they were
2000.
freed.
Not all of them. Not all of them. Not all of, there's specifically, there's a lady. Her name is Shuaibu something. She was actually detained because she was asked to convert from Islam, from Christianity to Islam, which she refused. Until today, that girl has not been released. The barbaric things these terrorists do, they marry these girls off forcefully. They impregnate them, you know, they impregnate them, they get married to them without the consent of their parents. They sleep with them, they rape them, they get them pregnant. Some of them give birth in their camp, with with just without any proper medical care or medical attention. These are people who live under the caves, who lives inside forests. Now tell me, what good medical or medications are they going to give to those children when they're about to give birth? These girls are forcefully married off to Islamic terrorist fighters. So it's barbaric. It's terrific.
See, I would be fine with doing a crusade over there, considering I actually was in the military.
Yeah, Patlock actually did is a former military because he was into maps and stuff, and I feel like Patlock would definitely want to go down there and help you out if he was still in the military for sure.
No, I could still go and do it. I wouldn't do it under federal control. I would straight up just go there. Because let's be honest, these are Islamic fighters. They don't know shit about strategy. They just know about let's storm in and get these people and get the fuck out. That's what they know. They only know basic
Chudi did, which, if you want to elaborate on this, you can. But Chudi even said last interview that he doesn't even want any more bloodshed to happen, even with the terrorists. He just wants the terrorists to stop going after his people.
Well, the only way you're going to stop that is basically to genocide the terrorists. That's the only way.
Oh, did he drop? I think he left.
His devices are not connected, it says.
Oh, he's having connection issues. Sorry, guys, he's having connection issues. But you can continue, Pat Rock.
I mean, that's to be expected considering the location he's at.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to continue to say was that
there we go. He's back.
So the only way that you would be able to defeat these terrorists, you can't defeat them by peacekeeping because we've already tried that in Afghanistan, Iraq, and that didn't work.
You there, Chudi? Oh, he's in the background. So yeah, he's here.
Yeah. So the only way that you're going to have to defeat them is by genocide. You're going to have to capture everybody who's a known Islamic militant and just shoot them. Shoot them, behead them, whatever friggin' way is easier that's not going to give you PTSD, you're going to have to do it. It's the only way you're going to be able to defeat them. And honestly, I think we really screwed up here in America. See, during the Biafra conflict,
another thing too that you got to understand, which Chudi could speak for himself if he can too, but a lot of the Nigerians don't have the supplies for that to even happen. That's why they're calling for America to come down and help, because a lot of these terrorists took away the supplies, destroyed the villages, destroyed everything they'd known, so they don't have the resources to make all these weapons. That's why America needs to go down and help them get out get the terrorists out, and also get the people in the government that are, allowing these terrorists to come in, because there's people in the Nigerian government that are allowing these terrorists from Palestine, from Iraq, from Iran, from these Islamic countries to come in and take over. Like, they're giving these people positions. Like the other week, I read an article of President Bola giving this guy from Palestine a position of power in the government.
Hold on. I'm gonna get out of my podcasting studio, i.e. the car, and actually go to the house because it's gotten too fucking cold for me to actually be podcasting in here.
All right, that's fine.
But
yeah, Chudi, are you back yet?
Yeah, he's back. His volume's really low though, I think. Either that or he's away from the mic. I'm not sure.
Hold on, let him answer. Chudi, you there? Okay, I guess he's having technical difficulties, which is fine. Yeah. We can still, talk about it.
Let me leave the podcasting studio. Whoops. Hold on.
All right, that's fine. Just do what you need to do.
Yeah. I'm just grabbing some things out of the truck.
Try speaking now, Chudi. See if that helps.
Oh, hello, can you hear me?
There we go.
Yes, we can hear you. There we go. So, were you able to hear what Pat Rock said about his opinion on how to resolve this conflict?
Okay, sorry, I didn't get that.
All right, Pat Rock. Whenever Pat Rock's back in the room, but he basically
Yeah,
what Pat
I'm
Rock.
here. I'm here. I can
All right,
talk
can
to
you
you.
can
I'm
you
just
re
going
yeah,
to
can
the
you
question.
hold on? Can you re-explain what you said? Because Chuddy didn't hear you.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is, I know you want the peace to be made by way of peacekeeping, but the only way you're going to be able to actually succeed is by just genociding anybody who's at least proven to be an Islamic militant. We've already tried the peacekeeping idea in Iraq and Afghanistan that didn't work, so we're going to end up having to just genocide.
And what he means by
I know.
genocide, not like genociding innocents, but genociding the Islamic militants that are genociding you guys. Basically. It's not
Extrajudicial
even. It's
execution.
not
Yeah.
even. It's not even genociding because genocide means you're killing innocents. This would be an actual like crusade because these people are not innocent.
Yes,
But
yes,
like I
yes.
said,
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
you're gonna have
Hold
to
on.
just do that. And besides
Wait, hold on.
that,
Let Chuddy talk real quick because he was trying to say something.
sorry, I couldn't hear him.
Yes. Yes. What I'm trying to say in essence is okay. What got me confused was when he was saying, genocide the Islamic terrorists. So that would be the best option. Honestly, that would be the best option. Killing all these Islamic terrorists. No negotiation, no peace talking, no round, no ransom. Like, let's negotiate, let's give you guys some amount of money so that every you could stop your killings, and I'm very
Hold
sure
on
the
a
more
second,
they
Chuddy.
negotiate with these terrorists.
Hey,
Okay. Okay.
when you're talking in the background, Pat Rock, can you do us a favor and mute your mic, please?
Yeah, you are on stream, so like if you are talking in the back.
Background. That's just Tojo. The apartment's too small. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Well,
That's
tell
fine.
Tojo to keep it to a minimum.
Either that or just mute if you need. Anyways, continue, Chuddy.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry. Okay, you can hear me loud and clear, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So what I was trying to say in essence is there's no point negotiating with these guys peacefully. The point, what I would really want President Trump to do, it's because if he continues this way, our government is not ready to go all out, and I don't even think they have the resources, they have the manpower. Even if they do, corruption amongst the military is not even helping the situation. So I would if Trump, if President Trump of America would, can just come, the best option would just be to eliminate this Islamic terrorists, eliminate them. No negotiation, no round table talk. Just come once and for all and just start bombing their camps. That would be, the best solution. But my fear now is most of these kids that are being kidnapped and put into their camps. I just pity them because most of those children are eventually going to be using like a human shield. Probably when the American bombs starts raining on these Islamic terrorists, which is what an average Nigerian wants. That is what an average Nigerian is calling for. A help, because if you don't get it, I'm sorry, the Christian population in Nigeria in no time is going to be wiped out. And that is the plan of this Islamic caliphate. That is what they are planning, to change Nigeria totally into an Islamic country.
They're
They want
basically
to
trying to
create their
kill
jihadist war.
Christianity from the country.
That is their plan, to eradicate, to convert every Christian into Islam. That has always been their slogan. It has always been their prayer that every home in Nigeria is going to be converted into Islam. And that's the fear, because it gradually the jihad war is spreading all over the states in Nigeria, where we've not been hearing kidnappings and killings before. We've now started seeing, watching it live the other day in a church. there was a live camera in this church, and it recorded. It's on my ex, on my ex page. I posted it in Nigeria live. This government, these Islamic terrorists, they entered with AK-47 and all that. And the funny thing is, an average Christian does not have a weapon to defend themselves. These are innocent citizens, normal citizens who are going by their day-to-day work and hustling to make life better for themselves. Now you enter a church and you're not sure if you're going to come out alive. The panic is everywhere. Every church goer. Today is Sunday already in Nigeria, and I'm very sure most churches are going to be getting one or two, how will I put it, maybe police, or if it does, even if they have the money to get one or two military personnel or police to defend, to just come as how will I put it now, to just be around their church premises, something we are not used to before. You go to church, our aim is going to church, pray to the Lord peacefully, and that's it. But these days now, you go to church, you're not safe. You're looking for policemen who has gone to come and protect and shield you from Islamic terrorists. It's really getting out of hand, and that's why we are urging. We are really appealing for Americans to help, especially now that President Trump. And the other day we saw the speech, Nicki Minaj, that's an American female artist, rap artist, with the speech she gave in the United Nations about the genocide in Nigeria. You could hear everything she spoke about, and 100% everything she talked about is true. So honestly, if something is not done as soon as possible, immediately, honestly, Raven, I'm telling you, in no time, in less than 5 years, these guys are going to reduce the population of Christians in Nigeria.
Sorry.
And then basically, like, if we don't stop this, Nigeria won't even be a Christian country anymore. And that's not what we want, because Nigeria has been Christian for the longest time. And these people are trying to change the religion of the country, even though there's several Muslim countries that they're from and they could literally stay at. But instead, they just want more land in Nigeria. And if we don't do anything about it, and it's important for America, because I know there's a lot of Americans listening right now saying, oh, why do we have to care? We're in America. We got to have to care, because if they're going to go for Nigeria and that they wipe out Christianity in Nigeria, they're going to try to wipe out Christianity in the Americas, in the United States, America, Canada, basically worldwide. So it's very important for us to stand by Nigeria, because this ain't a war of just, man versus government. It's not even a war of right versus left. This is a war of good versus evil. And these people are evil. These people are trying to, worship the devil and worship, Muhammad, a false prophet, and kill off everyone that worships Jesus in Nigeria. They're trying to kill people that are doing the right thing.
Yes. So, this is a religion they call religion of peace. They say Islam is a religion of peace, a religion of peace. But we as Nigerians, we have never enjoyed, peace with our fellow Muslim nation, Muslim brothers. Even
Yeah. Hello?
Oh, that's on his end?
I think so.
I mean,
Now, Chudi, your thing cut out. Oh, also apologize to the audience. Just be patient. This dude is in Nigeria, and they're not really, they don't have that good internet like we do, but don't worry. But nah, honestly, he's right though. Like, I really do feel bad for him, and I feel bad for all the Christian brothers that are going through this horrible genocide. And if there's any other Christian brothers that want to speak out, I'm willing to schedule an interview to come and, let you tell your experience of what's going on down there. Because what's going on is definitely, like, just horrifying for sure. And, Nigeria definitely needs our help 1000%. They really do need
Yeah.
America to go down there and, help, make sure these innocent people are not being killed. And I know there's there's some non-Christians that are probably in the audience thinking like, oh, why do we got to do that? It's because even if you're not Christian, this is not something we should allow to happen because it can happen in America if we don't contain it in Nigeria. You know what I mean? If we don't contain it in these other countries and we don't stop the Christian genocides from happening, or no genocides of any religion should happen. Like, I'm going to put that on the record. Jewish, Muslim, Christian, atheist, doesn't matter. This shit should not be happening, and we should not allow this shit to happen, especially in an allied country like Nigeria. Nigeria is getting our resources and gaining our oil to basically do a genocide, and that's not right. That is not right, and we need to do something about it. And if the government doesn't want to listen to us, then the government needs to fucking go. Because this government is a danger to us if we allow them to continue to rise to power in Nigeria. Because, this government's also anti-American, and they will try to take over America if they get powerful enough. That's why right now, when they don't have that much power, America needs to go in and just wipe them out, like Pat Rock said. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I get, the whole peace argument and all that, but these people are not willing to be peaceful with us. We already tried multiple times to make peace with these people. Yeah, Chudi, you still there? If not, I could still, talk more.
Yes, yes.
Oh, there he
you
is.
are. Welcome back. Yeah, so with all this, going on, and honestly, I don't like Nicki
Yes, I'm still
Minaj,
very much around.
which Nicki
Yes,
Minaj,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I used to not really like Nicki Minaj because she used to do like a lot of stuff that's not really for Christianity. But here lately, she's actually been doing a lot of good. Like, she's been hella preaching for Nigerian and for, free speech of Christians in Nigerian of Nigeria. And she's also been, basically she even praised Trump, saying thank you for, trying to save these people in Nigeria. So I feel like Nicki Minaj has definitely redeemed a lot, and I feel like she's changed as a person. Hell, she had a fallout with her best friend Cardi B because Cardi B was like asking her, "Oh, why are you caring about the people in Nigeria? Why are you praising Trump?" And Nicki Minaj was like, "Because this is important, and if you don't care about the people in Nigeria, I'm not going to be friends with you." And I feel like she did make a right call because that shows she's really genuine and she really does care about you guys in Nigeria. Like, Nicki Minaj is definitely an ally to Nigeria, I feel like. It's even though I disagree with Trump on some things, I feel like Trump genuinely does care too, because Trump knows if he allows this to go on in Nigeria, it can be a huge problem for not just America, but for the whole world. Like, Christianity from our planet can be wiped out because you think they're just going to stop with Nigeria? No, they want Christianity gone from the whole earth.
Yes, yes, yes. Ruben, that's a very good point. It's Cardi B taking offense against Nicki Minaj. It is funny. You just can't fold your hands when you see something evil going on, and you're going to be using sentiments and politics. Even if you don't like Trump, but at least once he makes sense, once he says or does something that is sensible, or to help people who are helpless, and who are harmless, because these are just ordinary civilians. It's not like it's one group of armed terrorists attacking or fighting against another armed group of terrorists or bad people. These are armed evil terrorist people fighting against innocent, harmless citizens. If you fold your hand around, I mean, if you fold your hand and showing less concern, it definitely we are going to be these guys, they see Nigeria as, if they could overrun Nigeria in Africa, then getting other African countries in, especially in West Africa, it's a small deal for them if they can actually conquer Nigeria. You know, in no time they can move to Ghana. In no time they can move to Togo. So they see Nigeria as a big country that if they can capture Nigeria, it's going to be easy for them to move to other African nations, especially along the West African axis, which has countries like Togo, Benin Republic, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and so on. Honestly, what Donald Trump is doing, it's let's the sentiments apart. If you don't like Trump, that's on another case, on another level. But this is somebody who has, woken up one day and he has realized that the life of innocent Christians somewhere in the world is in danger, and he is offering to help at no cost. That's a good idea. That's a good thing to do. And I feel all world leaders should wake up to what is happening to Nigeria, because in the media these guys are not going to give you the exact figure of what is really going down here. If you are here, you are going to really see how sick it is, how barbaric it is. These are people who kidnap innocent children as young as 2 years old, 3 years old. They behead them, they kill them, they massacre them, they cut them into pieces. Children, if you could do that to kids, innocent children of 2, 3, 4, 5 years, then what to, young adults and older people. These are people who do not have conscience. They don't have conscience. Their idea, their ideology is to destroy. Their ideology is to kill. Their ideology is to massacre and kill for their holy prophet, evil prophets which they call Muhammad, and their fake god Allah, their blood sucking god Allah, you know. What we do in Christianity, if we want to convert other people into our faith, it just takes us only our Bible, our piece of Bible, and to preach the gospel. But in the case of an average Islam, they have to turn it to a jihad war. If they don't kill, if they don't maim, if they don't massacre, if they don't conquer, they feel they are not doing it in the right way. And the problem here now over here in Nigeria is the Christians are clamoring for help overseas, for help from America. But an average Islam, they are being redundant, reluctant about Trump coming to help them. And you people say it's not only Christians, because if you go around the social media, that is what they've been saying, that there is some are trying to lie that there is no Christian genocide going on, that actually both Christians and Muslims have been victims. Like I said in the earlier podcast, yes, some Muslims are victims, but these are Muslims that when these terrorist people come to them and tell them to join them, and maybe they say, oh no, they don't want to join, or they don't want to follow them in doing some evil things and all that, then they turn around and kill their fellow Muslim brothers. So now you people are saying that it's not only Christians that are being killed, that even Muslims are being killed. Now somebody is coming to offer help to kill these bad guys that are killing both Muslims and Christians, and you people are saying no, Trump shouldn't come. So there's something fishy about the whole thing. That tells you that it's glaring that the majority victims of what is happening in Nigeria are Christians. 80 to 90% case Christians, and their ideology is to what? Is to conquer the whole of Nigeria, to convert every individual to Islam. That is basically their ideology.
And also, like we said the last podcast, who's the one killing the Muslims? Oh wait, it's the other Muslims killing the Muslims that don't want to kill Christians. And the only reason these Muslims are being killed is because they don't want to join the genocide. They don't want to, these Muslims don't want to be as bad as these terrorists. They don't want to join the terrorists. So they're like, well, we're taking you out because you're not a true Muslim. That's
Yes,
what's going on.
that's exactly what's going on. That's exactly what is going on, So, how many times do we hear these terrorists going into mosque or going into Muslim schools and kidnapping Muslim students? We hardly hear that. Over 300 students that were kidnapped just some days ago. Over 300 kids, children that are not up to 18 years old. Now they are going to be taken into forest. They are going to face a lot of terrific situations. They are going to face a lot of health issues. The most heartbreaking part of it all is that most of those girls are going to be forcefully, against their will, converted into Islam first and first. Then most of those men, they are going to be marrying those girls by force, and they are going to be having sex with these underage girls, getting them pregnant, and all sorts of bad things, and things that could mentally damage these children, even eventually if they are released. Okay, like the set of girls they kidnapped in 2014, 2015. Most of those girls, they came back with kids. They came back with babies in their hand. Babies they don't know their father. Babies that they were forcefully raped and impregnated. Most of those girls, they came back, they weren't normal. Some of them came back with psychological effects. They mentally deranged, because of what they went through in the hands of these terrorists. Now these are
So,
over
like, if these
300.
people are not being killed, they're basically being tortured to death and basically being converted to Islam. And when they're converted to Islam, they're still being tortured, raped, and, like, basically taken advantage of by these terrorists.
Yes, exactly. In Islam, they actually have this. How will I put it now? I would say Islam is all about kill and sex. So most of them, and they believe in underage. They marry as young as 9-year-old kids and all that. So when these kids are taken to their camp, they are taken to their camp for different purposes, some for shield, because they know once they have these kids around in their camp, the military wouldn't want to bomb, throw bombs at them at random. So some of them are used as shields. Some of them are used as a negotiation bait, so that they could use it to extort more money from the federal government. Oh, we have these kids in our camp now. We will be demanding for hundreds of millions. And because the government of the people do not want these children to get hurt. Now they just have to do whatever they demand. These terrorists demand from them. They demand money, and eventually when they get this money, they use it to buy more ammunitions. They use it to buy more ammunitions, so that they could be attacking other places. So it's honestly, we, as it is going right now in Nigeria, would actually need the intervention. Not even only America. If the British can come in, if France, if Germany could help us, because it is really getting out of hand. Once you come down into Nigeria, you know what I'm saying. There is panic everywhere. Nobody feels safe anymore. Nobody feels safe anymore. Traveling from one state to another, it's like basically you are in the hands of God. It is 50-50 chance, that you could get kidnapped or get killed by these terrorists. They are hidden in bush. They hide in bushes in almost all the states. And when they come out in hundreds, with ammunitions, with anti-aircraft, gun, AK-47, RPGs, sophisticated weapons. So I just wonder, how do these guys get access to these ammunitions? And definitely, by my own research, I found out that they get sponsors from Iran, especially from Qatar, especially these two nations. These two nations are strongly behind in supplying weapons to these Islamic states to carry out their atrocities.
And honestly, just Hold on, I'm trying to think real quick. So do you think that America, like if they actually get something done, do you think America would be successful in getting rid of the Islamic terrorists from Nigeria for good?
America will be successful. America has always been successful. Even these terrorists themselves, they know that once America come in, they have no chance.
Also,
They them
because you asked the question of where these terrorists are getting these weapons, isn't it? Because I heard, because you could correct me, because you're actually there, you probably know more. But I heard that it's the Nigerian government giving these people weapons, giving the terrorists like ammunition and stuff.
Okay. Yes, that one too. That one happens, but it's not like the not like the Nigerian government would just outrightly want to give weapons to terrorists. No, I don't think it's actually happening that way. If these terrorists are getting weapons from the Nigerian military, it has to be one or two how will I put it now? One or two corrupt military officers who would go from behind, steal weapons. And I don't think it's that easy for militaries, to just give them military weapons. You know, at times when these terrorists, when they go to some military bases, some Nigerian military bases, they fight them, they conquer them. So once they conquer them, they definitely they take away their weapons, they take away the military weapons.
Do
But
you
if
do you think it's Palestine and the other countries that are like Muslim countries giving these people weapons too? Like you think they have
100
something to do with it?
100%, I have a strong belief that where these terrorists get their weapons from is from countries, from Islamic countries that are supporting terrorists, like you mentioned, Palestine, countries like maybe Afghanistan, countries like most Iran. I am very, very strong, very, very sure of that. From the research I made, these guys, they get weapons from Iran. Iran actually sponsors them because that has always been their ideology to conquer the world, to turn the whole world into Islam. And we know for very sure that Islam is a country that supports terrorism. And we know for sure that even Qatar is a country that supports terrorism. So most of the weapons these guys are getting is not majorly from the Nigerian military government. It is majorly from outside help, from outsiders, like Muslim countries who or these oil-rich Muslim countries like Iran, like Qatar, like just to mention a few, like Afghanistan, and just to mention a few. So
Mhm.
their weapons are basically from these oil-rich Islam countries. They give them a lot of weapons, they give them a lot of money, they give money to recruit their members. They tell them, come in, we'll give you some few dollars. And you see, because of the unemployment rate in Nigeria. So you see a young man who does not who does not have a job, and someone, being a Muslim, someone calls him, come, if you come and join us, you will be making a few hundred bucks in no time. And these guys, they go to join. Once they carry out one or two attacks, and they are being paid well, they want to continue. So I think the help and the support is actually coming from other oil-rich Islamic nations rather than from Nigerian military.
And I believe it's also the Islamic nations as well, because I've seen like news stories of like officials from Palestine coming in and running for like positions in Nigerian government. In fact, the current president, Bola, has also met with a few Palestine officials as well. So I feel like Palestine and all these officials are going to Nigeria, basically trying to blackmail. I feel like the Nigerian government's getting blackmailed by the Muslims, because You know, because in 2013, President Ebola was addressing, the genocides and saying that it was a real thing. But now he's saying that it's all an act, that the genocides are not real, that it's all propaganda. And like, it feels really weird that the Nigerian government's position has switched. And I feel like the Nigerian government, if they are like helping these terrorists, are being blackmailed by these terrorist groups to give them what they want. And that's why a lot of these terrorist groups are not being charged. That's why the Nigerian government's not doing anything. That's why the Nigerian government does not want Trump to go, because they don't want Trump to know that they made. I feel like the Nigerian government made a backdoor deal with the terrorists.
Yes, Raven. Up to a very large extent, honestly, you made a good point. Back in 2014, 2015, when this current president was an opposition, then you know he actually made several comments against this genocide. You know, several comments about the killings and all that, because he was an opposition to the current president then, Goodluck Jonathan, who was the president during 2014-15, era. Now that he is the president, he's trying to play a kind of politics. You understand? So that's synonymous with
And
an average politician.
his stance is a switch too. He's now like currently saying that the Nigerian genocide's not happening, and he doesn't want Trump there now. He doesn't want any outside assistance, even though back then, 2013, he was saying that outside assistance needs to stop the genocides and that the Christians need to be freed. But now apparently Christians are not even being genocided anymore, and it's really, really weird. And I want your opinion on this. What, in your personal opinion, why do you think he flipped? Why do you think he switched his position?
Yes. Yes. In my personal, honest opinion, why I think he flipped is because, one, he is a Muslim by himself. Then two, he is now the president himself. So probably he does not want any, how will I put it now? Probably anything to taint his record, or to call him that he's incapable of, tackling insecurity in the country. No, it's more of an ego thing. It's more of, playing politics with the life of an innocent average Nigerian. You just want to show yourself that you are capable of doing what seems obvious, that you're not capable of putting an end to. So that's just a politics, an average politician for you. Trying to project himself as a good person or Mr. Capable. But we know that now that you are the president, definitely it is obvious that you're not capable of, putting an end to this genocide. And two, he is a Muslim by himself, so he would want to deny this fact by every, by every means, every means possible, just to make himself look like a good person. So in the history of Nigeria, there has never been a situation where the president has been a Muslim and the vice president also a Muslim. This is the first time we are getting that in Nigeria. The president being a Muslim and the vice president being a Muslim. So each time Christians try to talk, the president who is a Muslim is always there to to suppress to suppress the opinions of the citizens of the country. The vice president also, who is the Muslims too, is going around the world denying the fact that there's a Christian genocide, which is obvious. We see these things. Thank God for social media these days. These things are being recorded by individuals and put on the internet before before the government could even suppress our right to freedom of speech. You understand? So right about now, since there's social media, it's being recorded. You put it as it is. You are watching it. The one that happened some days ago in a church where a terrorist invaded a church. There was a live streaming, there was a live camera in that church, and as it was happening live, people all over the world saw it. So
Yeah, I
this
saw
this
that
is not
video. I think you retweeted that, and I saw that, and that was really sad. That church where all these people were unfortunately being shot, and they want to say that's not real. They want to say all these videos and all these, documentations that are valid and proven not to be AI are fake. But it's like, for one, Nigeria is not even good with AI or technology like America is. So you can't say it's AI. Two, you can't say it's fake because the modern technology in Nigeria, a lot of those Christians live in villages where they don't have the technologies to make fake videos. So you can't say the videos are fake. And three, you can't say it's not in Nigeria when it's literally a church in Nigeria. Like, they're trying the best to deny that this genocide is not happening when it is. And I feel like that the president flipped, like you said, to basically save his ass. And also, so he doesn't have responsibility of this genocide, because technically this genocide is his fault because he's not doing anything about it. Instead, he's lying about it, even though he confirmed in the past that this shit happened and that he even admitted it was bad. But now that he's in power, now he wants to pretend he fixed it all, and that he made peace with them, and that there's nothing going on, that Nigeria is the most peaceful country in the world when it's probably one of the most horrendous places in the planet right now. Which there are also other countries going through the same thing, like around that region, like Manchuria and all that, but with the Christian genocide. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to downplay this genocide just so they can spread their ideology, because they want to trick the rest of the world to thinking that Muslims are peaceful when they're really not.
Exactly. That's exactly the kind of picture they are trying to, to project to the world. This idea that yes, I can handle whatever is happening down here. I'm the president. I'm in control. When we know that you are not in control of whatever it is that is happening, and being a Muslim, you never can tell. Probably, maybe he himself has gone to maybe Saudi Arabia or has gone to maybe Iran to collect some few bucks. You can't trust these politicians. They are ready to to use people as sacrificial pawns and scapegoats. Just because of their pockets, just because of the money they will get from it. Most of these Nigerian politicians, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn if people are dying. They don't mind once they have their families overseas. You know, you know the thing is, it is obvious that he does not know what he is doing. He is just lying, about being in control. It is obvious that he actually cannot do anything about these things. So right about now, most an average Nigerian citizen is confused. You can't. People, these terrorists are killing people every now and then, and somebody is offering to help. Why not? Okay, even if you don't want America to step into Nigeria with American soldiers on ground, you can actually, work with the president. But my fear, if anything like money support or ammunition is given to Nigerian army to go and do this, or without the Americans coming, it still won't be done because of the corruption on ground. It's either they sell off all these weapons that America will be giving them, or if it is financial support, they will just take this money, embezzle, and put into their personal pockets. That is why an average Nigerian is clamoring for President Trump himself, to send America. They've been successful in doing it before. There was an instance I spoke about in the first time podcast where an American citizen was actually kidnapped from Niger, and he was brought into Nigeria. American soldiers came into Nigeria, rescued this American citizen without American, without one American soldier being shot. The operation was smooth and successful. So America, being the best military on earth, is not going to take them any it's not going to take them no time to wipe out these Islamic terrorists, which we know. even if it's with area strike or something, they can get the job done in no time. And the Nigerian president know this, but he is just trying to play politics, trying to show that he's in charge. But we all know that he's not in charge, because every day, tomorrow morning now, if you're going to open Twitter about Nigeria, you're going to be hearing where people have been kidnapped, where people have been killed and beheaded. Right about now, the state that I'm in, it is not safe. It is not safe. You hear in the news every day, if you're going to be traveling, if you're going to be if you're going out, you have to be careful. Something that we don't hear before. Now, you can't even tell where this attack might be coming from at any time. Nobody feels safe anymore, especially as a Christian. So if they're telling you that, if they're saying that there's no Christian genocide, that's pure lie. That's pure lie. There is
And that's
Christian
false,
genocide.
because there is a Christian genocide. There's even people that I like Tucker Carlson. He's a speaker that I like, but he was playing into this bullshit narrative. Oh, there's no Christian genocide going on. And I'm like, bro, Tucker, I like you and all, but there is a genocide going on. You can't sit there and deny there's not. Look at the documents. Look at all the live videos that have been released. Look at people like Chudi's Twitter. In fact, look at the interviews I've done, like with Chudi, for example, and the many more we plan on doing. And also other people. Like, look at all these testimonies. Look at all these evidence. You can't sit there and say with a straight face, oh, yeah, the genocide's not happening. Yeah, it is. There's evidence out there proving that the genocide's happening, and you saying it's not is dishonest.
It's dishonest. If anybody anywhere in the world would say that there is no Christian genocide going in Nigeria, that is a height of being dishonest. That is height of not telling yourself the truth. It is obvious. What you see, all those things are not. It's not like people just sit behind their keyboard and just generate false news. We've seen videos of dead people being buried in coffins. We've seen church owners. I could tell you how many times where my own church has been attacked. My own Catholic church. Sometimes around 2 years ago, a Catholic church nearby was attacked by Boko Haram, terrorists. Just that day, I wasn't in church. A lot of people lost their life. This is, and since then, there's been this phobia, this fear. But people, majority of people don't even want to go step into churches anymore. Because they fear being killed, because they don't know anytime, anywhere these guys can come from. So if anybody is denying the fact that there's no genocide in Nigeria, then that person is not being honest enough. Honestly, he's not being honest enough, because the news is everywhere, evidences of video. You can't say that most of those videos are being doctored, or they are being, they are fake. No, there's a way fake videos and real videos. You see people come on social media crying, and you want to deny the fact that it's not happening. I mean, that's not good. That's evil on its own. When something bad is happening and you don't want to you don't want to speak up and speak against it, that is evil on its own. Then that means you're supporting evil. you know it is obvious. It is obvious. This is not something that people just sit down and just cook up stories of a Christian genocide happening in Nigeria, and that Muslim jihadists are trying to convert Nigeria into a Muslim country. That has always been their priority. That has always been their ideology. The jihad. In short, I would say there's a jihad war happening in Nigeria. It's more than genocide. Jihad. Most of the times you hear these people when they are carrying out their killing, what they shout is Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. So Allahu Akbar, which religion is this synonymous to? It's the Islam. So anybody that is denying the fact that there's no Christian genocide in Nigeria is not being fair enough, honestly.
And they're not even telling the truth because they're like, "Oh, this genocide's not happening. It ain't happening." But then you're seeing all the evidence and all the material proving it's happening. And these people, instead of saying, "Oh yeah, I was wrong. There is a genocide. We need to do something about it," they're like, "Nah, we're just gonna keep doubling down and keep on telling the lie, even though we know it's lied and we've been proven wrong."
So what will that person gain if you see innocent, you come on Twitter, a place like Twitter, and you see a headline, you see people in Nigeria, you see Nigerians tweeting this thing, posting this thing, that 300 children, innocent children, these are kids that are as young as 11 years old, young as 12 years old, 13, 14. Now I just wonder the kind of fear that is going to be gripping those children, girls for that matter, young girls for that matter. Now these are young girls that are going to be married off to men of in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, bearded, matured, horrible looking, fearful looking, men with ammunitions, and just imagine that kind of psychological effect is going to have on those kids, bringing kids into this kind of scenario. These are children now that they will be waking up to the sounds of guns every day. Kids that are still supposed to be under their parents, feeding under their parents. They're not even up to the age of working for themselves. These are kids that are still in primary, secondary school. Now they are kidnapped, taken into forest where there is no electricity, where there's no good water, where they won't be going to school. Their life is just going to be, it's just going to be it's just going to be halt. They wake up in the morning, there's no daddy, there's no mommy. They wake up in the morning, there's no going to school, there's no school bell. you know I wonder the kind of food they will be eating in those terrorist camp. The kind of danger they will be exposed to health wise. So it's baffling if anybody can wake up anywhere in the world and say that there is no Christian genocide happening in Nigeria. That's not fair enough. That's not fair enough. Honestly, I I really appreciate what you guys are doing here. To bring to the notice of the world. At least I know this podcast is going to go far. At least people are going to see and hear. As I'm saying it here, they can go and make their researches. If they have friends in Nigeria, they can call them, ask them, their honest opinion about what is happening, going on here. It is getting every day. It is getting terrible. Every day it is getting terrible. Now we've had over 300 children kidnapped. We don't know what is going to be happening tomorrow, whether about 600 is going to be happening. We just pray and hope for the best. We just pray and hope for the best. But since there is no help coming from nowhere, since our government is almost helpless in this situation, we are we are Christians in Nigeria are just confused because this thing is spreading all over. It is gradually spreading. And these politicians, they feel safer because most of them, they have the money to take their families abroad, you know, and by that they don't seem to give it down. Just like what is happening with our president now, he's rich enough, he could afford to take all of his family overseas. So if they are saying that there's a genocide anywhere, he just wouldn't take it serious. I don't know, maybe because of he's gaining something from there. Being a Muslim himself, he would want to, deny the fact that Christian genocide is actually going on. This is something that the Christian Association of Nigeria have come to confirm it. Yeah, that yes, it is really happening. This is what something President Trump he himself has seen, that yes, this thing is really happening here. The senators like Senator Ted Cruz in America have been saying this. People like celebrities like Nicki Minaj have always testified that yes, this thing is going on. So why would somebody just wake up and say, no, there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria? That's bad. That's bad.
I mean, what chat said is that The people, if you say what Muffin McFlurry said in chat, and I'm reading this because I think it answers the question. If you say that there's no genocide in Nigeria, they are being disrespectful on purpose, and I believe that's what they are. Is like they're being disrespectful on purpose for one way or the other, because you can't legitimately come out and say, "Oh yeah, there's no genocide." Like you can't sit there, and you can't even lie about it either. I feel like they're just saying it to be disrespectful on purpose, and I feel like shit like that is not acceptable and shouldn't be called out 100%. Because you can't deny it. Like there's evidence. Like you can't. They're not even disproving the evidence either. Like they're just saying there's no genocide. There's no genocide. It's like they're being disrespectful and they're trying to cover their tracks when they know what we know. We all know what they're doing over there, and they need to stop doing it. They need to stop killing Christians. They also need to stop killing the Muslims that are not going, for this. That are not, wanting to do this, because they're killing their own religion by killing the Muslims that actually don't want to kill people, the peaceful Muslims that actually do want the Christians in Nigeria to survive, the peaceful Muslims that don't support the hate. They're killing them off too, and I feel like that's not fair.
Definitely. And what baffles most people in Nigeria is these Muslims. Yes, they know they are being killed too. Now, America is saying they want to come and help Nigeria. And to my surprise, basically all the Muslims in Nigeria say they don't want America to come. And to me, it sounds somehow stupid because you say there's a terrorist. Now, this terrorist is killing both Christians and both Muslims. Muslims in a smaller fraction, probably Muslims who do not want to join them, who do not want to associate with them. Now, America says he wants to come and eradicate these terrorists that are killing both Christians and Muslims. And Muslims are everywhere saying that they don't want America to intervene. Does that not sound, stupid? You understand?
It does
There's
sound
somebody.
stupid because they're saying they don't want. So what is Nigeria gonna do if we can't intervene? Because the Nigerian government has done nothing to do anything. They have not solved any problems. In fact, the president is clearly lying, even though he confirmed that this genocide was real in 2013. Now he won't. Now that he's in office and that he's surrounded himself with all these Palestinian officers and all these other officers from all these Muslim countries, trying to help him corrupt the government. Now he wants to say there's no genocide just so he can look good, just so he can, take over the country. That's not right. And I feel like he needs to be. And honestly, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but the current president of Nigeria needs to be arrested and charged as a war criminal because what he's doing is a war crime to his own people.
Definitely. What he's doing is not different from war crime. Honestly, I think ICJ, ICC should look into it. What he's doing is not different from war crime, because these are people who, okay, for instance, this helpless over 300 young female Christians that were kidnapped in a Catholic church. Now, what if eventually these people are going to be facing, men who are armed? What if anything happens to them in the camp? We've been hearing situations where other terrorist groups like ISWAP and Boko Haram, they face each other. Now, what if they go to the camp and just decide to blow everybody and kill everybody off? Because we know even the girls they took in 2013, 14, 15, not all of them actually made it out life. Some lost their lives there. Some died while they were in the captivity of these terrorists. So why are you just going to be ignored? Right about now, I've not even heard any meaningful strategy or any meaningful plan that is being put on ground now to rescue these children. Is it going to drag for another year like it did, like what happened in 2014-15, that it took almost 5 years for these children for the ones who were able to stay alive, to actually get freedom from the captivity of these terrorists. We know that Nigeria, in situation like this, is not something they move in to work, swiftly. Not like those kids are going to be coming out in like a month or 2 months. I pray and I hope so, that they could actually come out in no time. You understand? But to be realistic with what is on ground in Nigeria, our government is not that serious government, that is going to work swiftly or make an arrangement to free these girls before within a month or two. My fear is, I hope it's not going to drag for another year. Maybe those children being in captivity for another 2 years, another 3, 4 years. And eventually, I must tell you the truth, not all of them are going to make it out life from the captivity of these terrorists. Not all of them. Because first thing first, when they get to that camp, they are going to tell those girls to take an oath and convert them forcefully against their will to Muslims, to Islam. That is very for sure. We know that. In no time, you will be seeing. I'm very sure you'll be seeing videos of those children wearing hijab. It's just like what happened in 2014-15 when Boko Haram kidnapped some girls. Before you know it, there was a video everywhere on the internet where those girls were wearing hijabs, this Muslim way of dressing, and these are Christian children, So that's my fear. Now, the president, who is a Muslim, who has been trying to play politics with what is going on here, he wants to make himself look like, the good guy who is in control. I can actually handle it. When we know that you cannot handle it, you are not capable. What Nigeria military do not have that even if they have the manpower, because of corruption, eventually they are not going to do anything reasonable. That's just my fear. That's just my fear. So, and at the end of the day, now there's something Nigerians are clamoring, probably for Nigeria to break up. Let the Christian, the southern part of Nigeria, which is predominantly Christians, they are clamoring to break away from Nigeria to see if that is going to even, bring peace to an extent. Yes, even me, I think I'm tired, with this union called Nigeria. If secession, if everybody going into their separate ways could actually bring peace, honestly, I think that is a welcome idea. That is a welcome idea.
And that's the thing. It's like, hopefully when America comes in, peace is good and we could just get rid of these terrorists. And honestly, it's like, I hate, because I don't like violence at all in the world, but the only way for us to get rid of to get rid of the problem in Nigeria is what Pat Rock said, to wipe out all those terrorists, to wipe out the terrorists that are not wanting peace. Because if they don't want peace, then we're going to have to force peace by getting rid of the people that are causing the problem.
Yes. That would be the solution, honestly.
Because if they're not even having peace with their own people and they're killing other Muslims, they're definitely never going to get along with Christians. They're not going to get along and want peace with us. If they're willing to kill their own, in fact, I've heard stories of terrorists trying to convert to Christianity and these Islam people killing their own terrorists because the terrorists are, basically trying to, find forgiveness in Christ. And they're like, no, you can't do that. That's not good here. Like they just get rid of them.
Exactly. That is happening. They don't just want to hear anything Christianity. Even the ones who say, oh, they want to convert to Christianity, once they hear, that person is doomed. That person is doomed.
That person's doomed because it's against the rules, because these terrorists are so bad that if you talk about anything, if you say any one little thing good about Christianity, even if you don't fully agree with it, if you just say one thing good about it, they will not even hear you out. You're basically a traitor and you're gone. And that's how they operate. And people like that don't deserve to exist on our planet, because these people will only hurt the rest of the world. And they exist to hurt the world. They exist to hurt everybody, and we don't need these people on the planet. So we're gonna have to, unfortunately, eradicate them. Now, like you said, like last stream, if there are terrorists willing to surrender and willing to stop, and they put their hands up, then yeah, don't shoot. Take them in and arrest them. But the ones that don't surrender have to go. They just have to go. There's no other option. They leave us no choice but to basically eradicate them because they're not giving us a choice. Because if these terrorists all just surrendered right now, put their hands up, and let America arrest them for being war criminals, then that would be a peaceful solution. But these terrorists are not. A lot of these terrorists are not going to surrender. So unfortunately, we're going to have to go force.
That is the best way. That is the best way. Any terrorist who is saying that he's willing to surrender, well, that should be a different case that should be looked into, that should be deeply scrutinized. Because most of these people, when they say repentant terrorist, just like what is been happening, let me tell you another funny thing that is happening in Nigeria, most especially amongst the Nigerian military. The past president, who also is a Muslim, Buhari, was a Muslim, the repentant terrorists were actually, reintegrated into the Nigerian military. They were absorbed into the Nigerian military. They were made soldiers into the Nigerian military. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah, good. So, they were absorbed into the Nigerian military. People who said these guys were terrorists before, terrorist fighters, which was obvious. And now they said they've repented, and you now absorb them, take them into the military. Even the military at a point in time after some years came out and said, oh, we are having problems with this repentant terrorists that you people have absorbed amongst us. Now, when we are going for missions and operations, we don't know how these terrorists get information. Nigerian military, they want to go and carry out an operation against the terrorists, and within few hours,
I think they're getting the
these terrorists,
information by blackmailing the Nigerian government. That's my opinion on that. I think these terrorists are getting the information they need from the Nigerian government because Nigerian government is mostly Muslim now.
Exactly. When you absorb somebody who was a bad guy before, then he says, oh, no, I'm no more a bad guy. I've repented. What makes you so sure that this person has actually repented 100%? Now you're going to absorb him into the military that you are using to fight them. Even the military came out at a point in time. They said they were having problems with these repentant terrorist fighters, that their information gets leaked. They want, when they want to go for operation, before they know it, all these bad guys, they already have the information that these guys are coming. So what they do is, it's either they just leave their camp or they prepare, for their coming and all that. So there's a lot of shit, going on, because I wonder why a president is just going to wake up one day and say he wants to, absorb former bad guys into its military. It sounds sick to me. It sounds stupid.
Not only that, but like, even if someone surrenders, like, the number one rule is, even though they surrender, you take them as like hostages, and you you basically arrest them. You don't have them fight your battles because you don't know if they're really surrendering or not. You don't know if they're trying to come in and spy on you. And I feel like the Nigerian government, I feel like they're saying, oh, we're getting repentant fighters. I feel like they're lying. I feel like they know these people are not repented. And I feel like they're purposely letting them in so they can corrupt the government even more, so they can, cover up this genocide. Because if they get a number of these Muslim officials in to basically deny the genocide, then they're trying to prank the world, and they think it can work. They think they can convince the world that there's no genocide going on, and that's all propaganda by having these, guys that quote unquote repented and are not doing it anymore. No, those guys are still doing it, and they're doing it with the assistance of the Nigerian government.
Definitely, definitely, they are still doing it. There is no way. There's no way. There's no way you can tell me that the Nigerian military is not compromised. There is. Okay, check for instance the last brigade, a whole brigade, something that has never happened since the inception, since the beginning of this terrorist genocide and war. A general has never been killed. Now, some days ago, a general was kidnapped, and there was a live video where he was being beheaded. His head was being cut off.
Oh my
With others.
God.
Yes, there was a live video. They always do live videos whenever they want to carry out their atrocities. Now, if somebody like a whole general could be killed, now tell me what's going to be the fate of common soldiers and or some other junior officers. They are going to be losing faith. And I think the Nigerian military it has become overwhelmed. I don't think they actually they don't have the moral anymore. Even if they have the strength, the manpower, they have the number of military. I think their moral is beginning to fail. Their moral is beginning to decrease. They are beginning to lose the war mentally and psychologically. Because at no the information, just they get information. These terrorists just they get information, the whereabouts of this military with at ease. So simple. Before you know, the militaries are in their camp, and before you know it, they are being overrun by terrorists.
Oh, hi, Thunder.
So so that's why we are saying, because we know that Nigerian military cannot not actually win this war. They can't win it. So that's why we are average Nigerians are clamoring, asking for the help of other countries, especially America, especially President Trump. This to me is just like God sent. God is in heaven and He knows what is happening, and it's like He just touched the heart of President Trump that my people are being killed. Go and rescue them. Go and help them. That is
Mhm.
exactly what it looks like. Because to my surprise, when I saw the news that day that Trump has decided to bring American soldiers into this jihadist war, I was like, oh, God, our God never sleeps. He knows actually that yes, Christians are being killed for the fun of it. So uh, as soon as possible, if there's something that can be done by America just to help us, honestly, it will really, really be appreciated here. Because man, down here, it is becoming terrible every day by day. Hundreds of people from January to November, almost over 3,000 people have lost their life
Are you
to
even
this.
allowed to like go out? Because I know you said like in the last time we talked that you're in like a safe area. Are you even allowed to like go like outside, far away from that safe area? Like, is there like a restriction for you to like go outside or something because of what's going on?
Yeah. Actually, there's no restriction per se. Like not like we are confined into staying indoors 24/7. We still go out for our day-to-day activities. We still go to work, and we still do to other things. Kids still go to school, but we just have to do that. But where the problem is it's like you are doing it, and you are just doing it because you have to do it. You are doing it because you have to go to work, make money, and eat food at least. you know um but at the end of the day, it's not something that your security is guaranteed 100%. It's not like this is something that you don't even know the church these people could be evading at any time. You don't even know the school these people could be evading at any time. You just can't tell. What the best the government can do is they will just tell you, be security conscious, don't go to this place, don't go to that place, know how you move around and all that. That's just it. That's all. If anything happens, there's no police you can call. Before the military would have even come around, these guys have done whatever they want to do, and they are gone, and they are gone into bushes. Not like they have, places you can actually trace them. These are guys who live under caves, who lives under rocks, who lives inside bushes. So it's honestly it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because the thing is we live in fear. Not like okay, we are 100% restricted. It has not. It's not like
You
it has.
still do daily activities, but you have to do the daily activities in fear. You have to like be more careful. You're like more aware because of
Exactly.
what's going on. Like you're basically living life in fear over there.
Exactly. Living life in fear. That's just the definition for an average Christian Nigerian. Living life
And
in
it
fear.
shouldn't be like that. It should not like you shouldn't have to be living in a world like that where you have to like where you're not sure if you can do your daily activities or not because you don't know when terrorists are just going to come out of nowhere and basically kill you and your family. Like that's just really sad, and no one in the world should be going through that. No one should have to live like that. And honestly, you are definitely a strong man to live like that because I could never live like that. I would be crying every day. Like a lot of Americans could never live like that because we never really lived like that. But you're more used to it, and I applaud you for still doing your daily activities, even though you're basically having to live in fear, but that hasn't stopped you from doing, going to school or doing your job or doing your normal activities. And honestly, that shows that Nigerians or Christians are really, really strong because even though they're living in a genocide, they're still, doing the normal daily activity life. And I feel like, that's definitely applaudable. But they shouldn't have to do those daily activities in fear, and no one should have to live like that, and America, the UN, like all these different countries need to go in and basically just overthrow the Nigerian government and arrest the president for a war crime because what he's doing, allowing all these people in the military, allowing all these these terrorists to come in the government and corrupt it, that is war crime activity. And
Yes.
that definitely needs to be stopped, and he definitely needs to be taken out of power for that because he's using his position of power to help a genocide. And he could say he ain't involved all he wants. He could say this genocide doesn't exist all he wants. The proof's out there. You're allowing these people to come in the country. You're literally allowing these Palestinian officials to come in. You're giving them good positions. You're giving these people power to do this. You are the reason that the military is compromised. I feel like the president made the military compromised on purpose just so he could continue to do his crimes. And that's why the general got killed. That's why all these Christian people that wanting to fight against these terrorists are being killed is because I feel like the president is snitching on all of them. The president is probably the one giving the information out to these people.
Yes.
Because, like you said, both the
Yes.
president and vice president are Muslims, and they both have ties to all these other Muslim countries. And, like you said, the vice president has been all over the world trying to debunk this genocide. Of course, he's involved with it. He's debunking it because he's implicit, he's in it.
Definitely, yes. Definitely, yes. Because I wonder why a vice president was invited to United Nations Summit, to make a speech, and he was busy talking about, what was happening between Israel and Gaza, Israel and Palestinian people, without even saying a word about what is going on in your country. And the worst is happening in your own country, and you're going to shy away from that. You're going to be talking about other people's shit where your own house is
He's gonna be.
burning.
He's literally talking about other people's problems. Because let's be real, is both Israel and Palestine created that war themselves? Because both Israel and Palestine are scumbags, and he
Mhm.
had to talk about a war that both sides created instead of a one-sided war that's going on in his own country. Because the
Your own
Christians are
country.
not. They're not even fighting back against these terrorists. These terrorists. It's all a one-sided war, and yet you can't even talk about the one-sided war in your own country, but you're going to talk about a war that both sides are wrong in. And not only that, but it's not even your own country. Nigeria and Palestine are different. You need to be focusing on what's going on in Nigeria. Nigeria should be first. They should put
Yes.
Nigeria first over there, but they're not. They're putting like they're basically you. Nigeria's having basically a similar problem we're having in America, where a lot of Americans are putting Israel first, but in Nigeria they're putting Palestine first over Nigerians, and I feel like that is so disrespectful, and that's so and that just shows that they're trying to cover up this genocide because they rather talk about Palestine, Palestine this, Palestine that. What about what's going on in your own country, bro? Your own isn't Nigeria your own country? Isn't Nigeria more important? Apparently, a foreign country, because that's the thing. Palestine's a foreign country to Nigeria, so a foreign country is more important than your actual country. That shows people like that. People like that need to be they need to be removed. And our vice president is the same way, but not with Palestine. He's more like an Israel guy. But our vice president is rather put Israel above America, and we're having our own politics regarding that. So it's like it's kind of similar, but except for Nigeria is having it way worse because there's an actual genocide rather than just because in America it's just corruption. It's not no genocide, like it's not anything like that. But in Nigeria, it's an actual genocide. But it's like Nigeria, it's like they rather put Palestine over their own people, and I feel like them doing that, they need to be arrested because they're literally helping these Palestine people come into the country and cause this genocide.
Definitely, what you just said is correct, 100%. That's exactly the problem, the shit that is going on. You want to go and remove the peg in other person's eye, whereby you have a log in your own eyes. You want to go and tackle other people's shit, whereby a bigger shit is happening in your own country. That tells you how nonchalant, how dishonest these politicians and leaders could be. You don't want to call a spade in your own country. You are pretending everything is okay, whereby people are being killed every day. Innocent kids are being kidnapped every day. Is it because okay we are talking about this 300 Catholic children now that have just been kidnapped? Even before now, they've been kidnapping school children. Just that when this thing happens, it just come up on the news, and it has become like a part of us. It has become like a normal part of life for us. We just wake up every morning, we see, oh, 100 people have been kidnapped and 20 people have been beheaded. 30 people. We just read them, and everybody just flip like it's normal, and it is not normal. It is not normal. Because everybody have cried and cried and cried, and there's no help coming from there's no reasonable help coming from Nigerian government. Now somebody like Trump has taken it up, and now the whole of the world, they are just waking up like, oh really, so this is really happening in Nigeria. For God's sake, it's been happening since like over a decade going to 2 decades now. We've been in this shit. Nigerian Christians have been facing this type of problem, low key. In schools, you could in schools, like in colleges and universities, you would hear the case of a girl, Deborah. Maybe later in the day you could just just browse Google or just read about her story. Her name is Deborah. She was in a college. She just said something about in their WhatsApp group. This is a school that has both Christians and both Muslims. And they had this student WhatsApp group. She just said something freely, not like she said it to really hurt somebody. And the Muslim students gathered. They burned this girl alive. They burned her, they brought her out, stoned her to death, and burned her alive. Several cases like that has been going on low key, where Christians have been killed, stoned, because of preaching the Bible on the streets, talking about Jesus Christ in social media. Some of them get arrested, and so it's really it's really bad, and this thing has been going on for long. If somebody like during 2014, 15, when President Trump was the president, I mean, when Obama was the president, if Obama has actually, been bold enough, to take this type of step, President Donald Trump is about to take with Nigeria, I think things would have been, it would have been better by now. At least, even if it has not ended 100%, at least it would have reduced to an extent. So that's why we are urging America, if there's a way they can help, because right about now we are helpless. We know that our government can't do shit about it, and these guys
In
are not
fact,
ready to stay.
did you know that President when Joe Biden was in office, he tried to because Obama or someone had Nigeria as like a concern on like the list, and he took Nigeria off that concern list and said that there's no genocide going on, and tried to make it seem and tried to get America not to intervene. But then Trump came into office and he rewritten and basically got rid of Biden's policy and put Nigeria back on the concern list of
And
concerned countries that we need to be concerned of.
yes, yes, yes. Why President Joe Biden did that? Honestly, I wouldn't know why, because these are men of
It's
world
it's
who are world.
because Joe Biden, like, because Joe Biden was Obama's vice president, and Obama is known to have ties with Iran, and so is Biden. Biden has ties with Iran, with China, with Muslims, and basically with that side of the political sphere. So those people got into his ear and said, "Hey, you need to remove Nigeria off the concern list." And Biden, having no spine, basically did that and followed orders.
Oh, that's too bad, because innocent people have, it's just like the blood of the innocent, crying out loud for help. That's exactly what is happening, and nobody wants to listen. And I so much thank God that somebody like Donald Trump, who has a listening edge, who shows concern, and who is being sensible in this situation. This shouldn't be happening. It's not like because it is Nigeria. This shouldn't be happening anywhere in the world. Nobody should just wake up in one morning and say, "Oh, you don't have the right to exist, or you don't have the right to practice your religion." I'm supposed to tell you what to do, tell you the type of religion you forcefully puts my forcefully make you want to practice my religion. If you say no, you get killed. No, stuff like this shouldn't be happening anywhere in the world. It shouldn't at all. Everybody should have a way of practicing whatever they believe in with freedom, and clean state of mind. If I want to be an atheist, yes, I should be free to be an atheist. If I want to be a Hindu, yes, I should be free to practice my any religion at all. So somebody like Biden removing Nigeria as country of no place, was
Country
placed
of
as a
concern.
yes, country of concern, because of the atrocity that was going on. And you just wake up one day and say, no, without probably because of your political interests. Probably there's one or two things you feel you could gain from the country, and they are saying, no, you don't want to, you don't want it to be a country of concern. That's really bad. That's really bad. Honestly, we really appreciate what Trump is doing, because even without him coming yet, at least we've seen that, okay, it has put a kind of panic amongst these terrorists. They are beginning to run helter skelter. Although in few days they actually stepped up their attacks. You understand? So, and that is why we are praying. If actually we just pray, I just hope that he doesn't change his mind. Right? He doesn't change his mind, and I also hope that when America are going to come, they should come as soon as possible, because every day hundreds of people are being killed innocently. Like I am here, I don't have a gun. The highest weapon I have with me is maybe my machete, which I used to clear this thing. Now how am I going to face people who have AK-47, people who carry RPGs, people who carry anti-aircraft weapons and all that, you know? So please, we are
That's
urging and
what,
we are
and
begging.
that's also what I don't get with like, because I see a lot of Americans, like a lot of Americans say, "Oh, Nigerian people should defend themselves. Why aren't they defending themselves? Why are they letting this happen to them?" It's because dumbass. You know these people don't have weapons, right? The government don't give them weapons to defend themselves. That's why America needs to intervene because these people don't have the weapons. These people don't have the resources. It's like Chudi only has machete. What can Chudi do against like 12 to 20 people with guns pointed at him?
You know,
Nothing. He's a dead
not
man if he tries something. Like that's
if
what
I
these
try
people need
something.
to understand. Like the Nigerians, if they had the weapons, they would have defended themselves a long time ago.
A
But
long
they just
time.
don't have the resources. And these terrorists know that. That's why these terrorists have picked Nigeria. Because they know that you guys are like, the people that don't have the resources and you guys are behind of the rest of the world. So they're using that to their advantage to do all this. Because they know you can't fight back. They know you don't have the resources to fight back. And they're taking advantage of that. And we shouldn't let
Absolutely.
people take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even our military is finding it difficult to fight them. Not to talk of the individuals. They're saying defend themselves, defend themselves. With what? Is it with stones and sticks and machete highest? No. There's
And
no
it's
way. Even
also hard when the president, the head of the military, is in on it too. How can the military defend themselves when the president is in on it?
absolutely, absolutely. When somebody like when the president will go to the United Nations, just to he wouldn't say what the problem, what the shit that is going on in his country. So that means he himself he has a tie. He has a tie. Being a Muslim, he has a tie with Iran and other countries that are sponsoring this jihadist. Like I always tell you, I can't trust an average Nigerian politician. They can do anything, and they are ready to waste, to spill the blood of an innocent Nigerian, as long as they are getting finances, as long as they are getting money from this. They don't give a damn. They don't mind. That's an average politician for you. I can categorically tell you, if the president himself might have a tie with Iran, the vice president himself, being a Muslim, might have a tie with Iran and all these other Islamic nations. We cannot deny that there
And
are
it's
no.
also been confirmed that the president has been giving is has ties to Palestinian officials, as these Palestinian officials went to Nigeria to meet with the president.
Yes,
This
yes,
president is allowing these officials that are causing this to come in the country and tell them, "Oh yeah, what you should do with the government." Like, come on! If he truly, truly was against this genocide, he wouldn't be working with the countries that are responsible for it.
definitely, definitely,
And that's
definitely.
my issue with this stupid president. And honestly, ever since I learned about this stupid president, I've never liked the dude because the dude is a fucking coward. The dude's a liar. The dude's a flip-flopper. The dude's, a war criminal. The dude's literally spineless, will not defend his own country. Bro's compromised his own military. Bro's giving out information about his own military members. Like, this president is a traitor to his country. He
It,
sold the
it,
country to Islam, to the Muslims. And you can't
it,
deny that fact. Both him and his vice president are responsible for it. And both of them should be arrested for being war criminals. Because if you arrest them and you get in a president that's actually, like that actually wants good for the Nigerian Christians and the Nigerian people and is not pro-genocide, then Nigeria would probably strengthen its military, because it's possible for Nigeria to to defend themselves without American help. But the only but Nigeria can only do that if the government actually does it. And the only reason Nigeria can't defend themselves right now is because the government's not wanting to defend them. That's why the American government needs to come in. Because the Nigerian government can defend themselves, the Nigerian government had it handled and had it under control. You wouldn't
Very
even
correct.
need America. You would not even ask for America's help because you guys would have it yourselves. But you guys, the
Yes.
only reason you guys are asking for our help is because the government betrayed y'all. The government sold y'all out.
You are 100% correct. 100% correct. 100% right on this. Honestly, not like the military do not have the capacity, to do this. But since the president already has, has a tie already, that's why it's looking as if it is difficult for the military to do this. If we could, like what you just said, which I 100% agree with, if we could get a president who does not have any tie, who is willing to work, who is willing to tell himself the truth that yes, there's a genocide and I am ready to face these people. I'm ready to face them. Definitely, why not? Our Nigerian military should be able to do this without, without America coming in. They should be able to, without America coming in. But
But
still,
instead, what does your leader do when he comes in? Hey guys, there's no Nigerian genocide. Hey guys, we have it under control. Oh yeah, the Americans that want to help, you can't help them. I can't. I'm not gonna let you help them. I'm not gonna let you. Oh yeah, military, the Nigerian military. Oh wait. Oh yeah, hey terrorists. Oh yeah, this is the general that's wanting to help them. This is the people that want to help them. Like that's what he did. He came in and told these people and snitched on the military that's helping them and compromised the military. He was like, hey guys, you get to have our military, so you can do what you want. I'll make sure I keep quiet. I make sure I lie to the UN. I'll make sure I lie to Europe. I'll make sure I lie to the Western world. That's what the
exactly.
president is doing. He's basically, I feel like the president's a plant. I feel like the Muslims purposefully planted him as the Nigerian president so they can do this.
Exactly. It seems like 100% like a planned work. It's very obvious, during the elections, these people could get funds from countries like Saudi Arabia, countries like this United Arab Emirates, whom have always been singing they want to spread Islam, they want to spread Islam. They don't mind, planting, helping somebody a president that is a Muslim, because they have an agenda already, and the agenda is to spread, Islam, make to turn Nigeria to Islamize Nigeria, like I always tell people, like Nigerian currency, we don't speak Arabic is not our official language, but if you look at our currency, there is Arabic written on it for no reason. I don't understand Arabic. Most Nigerians do not understand Arabic. But you see Arabic written on our currency. For what reason? For what purpose? You know? So
Do
the
you
idea of Islamization.
do you think the current president that's in charge is behind the currency being written in Arabic?
No. The currency thing, it has been way from, from the beginning, even I think before even I was born,
It's like
why
with
it is.
the American currency, we have stuff written in Latin.
No, I know what it is. I'm just saying. I was just saying, like, has this been like before he was president, or is this something like he enacted himself?
No, it has been like that from the beginning, from inception,
Yeah.
reason why it has been like that, I just do not know, because we are not Arabic nation. Not everybody understand the word Arabic, So that ideology of Islamizing Nigeria and things like this, it gives an average Muslim that belief that, okay, oh no, we own Nigeria, we our currency, there's Arabic written in it. That symbolizes that maybe.
Do you think the current president of Nigeria is in support of Nigeria being fully Muslim, and do you think he is trying to like help the terrorists wipe out Christianity?
Yes, like I always said, these are politicians, and you cannot compare an average To my own understanding, you cannot compare an average politician in America to an average politician in Nigeria. An
No, you
average
can't.
politician, yes, an average politician in Nigeria is ready to sell the souls of its citizen. He does not mind if Nigeria burns for his own selfish interest. He doesn't give a damn. He does not mind if the whole city, if Nigeria ceases to have to continue, existing today, as long as he gets money from it. So, this current president, I can't beat my chest and vouch for him that no, he's not in support of Nigeria being Islamized. I'm telling you, these politicians they are shady. They could do anything for money. They can do anything for money. He might have gone to Saudi Arabia, he might have gone to UAE, he might have gone to any of these oil rich nations. He might have gone
In
to Iran
fact,
and then just
the only thing like I'm kind of worried about with Trump with regarding Nigerian thing is I don't know if you know this, Trump has recently met with the Saudi Arabian prince recently, and he's been making like a lot of weird deals with Saudi Arabia. And I hope the Saudi Arabian prince or the Saudi Arabian government doesn't try to blackmail him and say, "Hey, you can't help Nigeria because if you do, we will get involved." Because if they do that, Trump's gonna probably chicken out. And I don't mean to like put anything in your head. I'm just saying like that's what's probably going to happen if Trump chickens out. If he chickens out, it's because of that meeting he had with the Saudi Arabian prince. Like
yeah.
honestly, it's like Nigeria should have the rule, and I feel like America should have the rule too. Which it's not as bad as it is in Nigeria, but all these countries that are not Muslim should not like all these like if you have a politician, they should not have direct ties to anybody in the Middle East, where it's Saudi Arabia, Israel, like basically any country that's like an enemy. We shouldn't have the government have ties with because that's what's causing the problem in Nigeria is that all these Nigerian politicians having ties with Saudi Arabia, having ties with, Palestine, having ties, some of them even having ties with Israel. They're having ties with all these foreign nations that don't even care about Nigeria. They don't give a fuck about Nigeria. They don't care about you guys. So I don't know why these politicians in Nigeria keep fucking meeting with these people, keep talking to these people, keep inviting these people into the country. These people are not there to help you guys advise the country at all. In fact, they want you to destroy the country. And these Nigerian politicians are giving in to these demands because they rather have money than actually have the country be free. And you
Yeah,
guys need politicians that put freedom above money.
That's exactly what we need right now in Nigeria. We need politicians who would put freedom ahead of money, who would put, good governance, the life of average Nigerian, especially Christians, before money. You know. So, like you said, um, President Trump, meeting with Saudi Arabian prince could actually influence him in checking out. Honestly, I must tell you, if Trump eventually chickens out, things are going to get dirtier. Things are going to get dirtier, honestly, because right about now, with the threats he has made, everybody is beginning to run helter skelter. Even the terrorists themselves, they are confused. Even for the fact that America hasn't come yet. There's this little fear in them. And that's why they want to do what every evil they feel they can do right about now.
Well, another
Like this
thing
kid.
too, like I kind of question it because because it was like what 2-3 weeks ago, Trump came out and said he's gonna declare war on Nigeria if if they did not confine to his terms. They responded to him immediately, said, "Hey, we're not letting you come in and intervene," and he's kind of been silent on it lately. And now he's meeting with the Saudi Arabian prince and all that. That raises red flags to me. It really does. It's like, is Trump going to chicken out? And I hope he doesn't. I hope to God he does not chicken out because of some stupid Saudi Arabian
Honestly,
prince
I
that
hope
hates
I hope
us, anyways.
I hope and I pray so, honestly. And like I was discussing with some few friends, a few Christian friends some days ago. You know, we're like, what if Trump decides to, to back off, and what if he decides to change his mind, and we're like, man, things are going to really get dirty. Things are really going to get bad because at the end of the day, it will just be like a thing of mockery, Okay, your savior, your savior Trump, President Trump said he was coming to save you guys. Now he's nowhere to be found because he knows he can't do shit because he knows he's weak, So they're going to be these guys are going to he's going to give them a kind of morale. It's going to boost their morale to even do more evil they've been doing
Mhm.
before, you know.
And also, just to combine their argument, which that's what they're going to actually think because that's how Trump's going to look. But it ain't because it ain't in reality. It ain't because Trump can't do it because he can. Like we can definitely go in and defeat these terrorists and all that. The only reason Trump's going to chicken out is because of influence from these foreign countries. And that's the problem. That's what's hurting Nigeria is the same influence because these countries, yeah, America is not as bad yet. And, we're still it's definitely nowhere as near as dangerous as Nigeria. But these foreign influencers are trying to control our government too. The same people like the Palestinians, the Saudi Arabians, and all these, Islam people have been trying to control our government. They're fighting with Israel over control of our government. So it's like, this foreign influence would be the only thing that would stop Trump from coming in and intervening is the foreign influence. That would be the only thing. Because if without foreign influence, Trump would have been there. He would have been there and fucking, destroyed those terrorists and destroyed all those terrorists and freed all the Christians. Old Trump would have been done that. But now current Trump he's been talking to, Saudi Arabia. He's been talking to a lot of these foreign countries, and these foreign influence in the Middle East are really, really dangerous because they influence, the governments in the Western civilization to do bad things. And that's why Nigeria is the way it is because of foreign influence from the Middle East. And I feel like foreign influence is what's killing the Western world right now.
Wow, definitely yes. You made a really good point. There was something you said in the last podcast when you said, uh, "Do I feel America should come and probably invade? Just probably take over our government?" And I was like, it hasn't gotten to that extent yet. But I think right about now, I wouldn't mind if America could come and completely take over the Nigerian government. Honestly, I just would not mind if there could be anything like recolonization now, taking over entirely the government of Nigeria and probably setting up a new one. I wouldn't mind because what we have right now is a deep mess and it is not helping security matters against the Christians right about now. Honestly, it is not in any way helping, you know. So
Because I feel like if America takes over Nigeria and Nigeria is a part of us, now all we need to do is just get rid of the foreign influence in America, and boom, both America and Nigeria would be safe, would be fine. Y'all would actually be able to practice your Christianity beliefs, and the Western world would be safe from the Middle East taking over. Because that's what they want to do. They want to take over the whole planet so they can make it into a one world government eventually. That's why the Saudi Arabian prince has been meeting with Trump lately. That's why, the prince is trying to, pretend to be a Western guy and, sell video games. And he's trying to trick the Western world to thinking he's a man of peace when that guy's not a man of peace. Because if he was, he would be, he wouldn't be allowing Saudi Arabian politicians to go to Nigeria and influence them to continue this genocide. Neither would Iran or any other of these countries. In fact, Saudi Arabia would have been cut off Iran, but they still work with Iran and Palestine to this day. And I feel like the only thing that's dangerous in this world is the foreign influence. Because the foreign influence is what's, got Nigeria into that mess. Because all these foreigners from the Middle East are coming into Nigeria and being like, hey, we don't like Christians. We need to kill all these Christians. And all these people are getting influenced to, join the terrorists and kill the Christians because these foreign people are not playing around. They're basically, coming in with the iron fist saying, if you don't do what we say, we will kill you. We will get you out of this world. You need to do what I say, and you need to kill innocents. If you don't, you will be killed too, just like the innocents. And that's what they're doing.
That's exactly my fear right now, honestly. That's
And when I
exactly
say
my
foreign government, it has nothing to do with race. When I say foreign government, I'm talking about the Middle East, because the Middle East are the people causing the problems. Because it's
definitely.
Israel, it's Palestine, it's Saudi Arabia. It's basically the Middle East that's causing, all these issues across the world. Because they're going to all these countries that they know they can take over, they know they can bully, and taking over the governments and making the governments really, really cruel as possible. And you know what? And you know why these countries are not going to get blamed for anything? Because they're just going to blame the Nigerian president and vice president for everything. The Nigerian president and vice president thinks these people are their friends, but no, they just have you there so they can throw you under the bus for their crimes. They're basically using the Nigerian president as a puppet.
As a puppet, that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what is happening. That's
They're
exactly what is
using him as
happening.
a puppet. They're putting all the blame on him. So these countries don't look like. So these countries could say, "Oh, it ain't us doing it. It's It's Nigeria's own government doing it, and the own government told us they're not doing it. It ain't us. It's them." It's like, no, it's them, and it's you too. It's Saudi Arabia. It's Palestine. It's Iran. It's all these countries coming in and trying to force Nigeria to be a Muslim state.
That's exactly what I feel is going on. You're 100% right about now, and that's my fear. The Middle East has always been the problem. The problem has always because they know that yes, countries like Nigeria they can easily bully them, and countries like in Africa, and that's why they are spreading their influence more in countries in Africa in countries like Africa, and they know Nigeria has a big influence when it comes to Black African nation, especially in the Sahara, part of Africa, that the Black populated nation in Africa. Yes, they know that Nigeria has a very big influence in it. And if they could capture a country that's as big, that is as large as Nigeria, with over 200 to 300 million, population, it's going to take them no time to capture other small countries like, Ghana, which is just like around 20 million, Benin Republic, which is, I don't think they're even up to 10 million, and some this Cameroon, which is like about 30 million, So they feel that yes, if they could capture a country, and it is true, if they could capture a country like Nigeria, it would in no time they are going to get rid of these other small countries. So by the time they spread their influences within these Black African nations, and they've Islamatized them, they already the northern African, which has countries like Algeria, Egypt, those ones are already Islam nations already. So their interest is more on the Sahara nations, that has Christians, so their agenda has always been just to spread that Islam. And how are they going to do it is to carry out a jihad war. And what a jihad war is all about: genocide. It's all about kill, kill innocent people, So, like you said earlier, my fear is for somebody like, President Trump eventually backing out, honestly, because I feel as he has made these statements, I just pray and hope that he does not flip. I just hope he doesn't change his mind, honestly, because if he does, then we'll just almost all Christians in Nigeria that we are just going to die for the fun of it, honestly. We are just going to get killed like chicken,
So, and
because
here's the choice Trump's going to have to make, right? Trump's going to either have to put Christianity first or these foreign nations first.
definitely, definitely.
And I
Just
rather, and honestly, we all rather him put Christianity first, because if he ignores the foreign nations and he goes in and takes over, Nigeria, and actually, stops the Nigerian government from being totally corrupted and saves the Christians, then I feel like Trump could honestly, help defeat the foreign nations, and I feel like he can fight back, because if he gets Nigeria and he also takes over like some of these other African countries that need help, and we can all join forces together as the Western world, and we also have the UN backing us up too, we can defeat the Middle East and chase out all these corrupted terrorists, and we can get rid of them from the planet, and we can free the innocent Muslims that don't want all of this, that are endangered. And we can, because that's the thing, like, we don't want to change people's beliefs. We still want, the Muslims to have their beliefs, but the peaceful Muslims that need the freedom can also be freed if we free Nigeria. Like, that's the thing. People's like, oh, why do we care about Nigeria? It's because if we free Nigeria, that can help the rest of the world. That can help all of us. That can help the Nigerians. That can help Americans. That can help the Middle East. It can free the Middle East, because if we free Nigeria, Ghana, and all these other countries, right, from the Muslims and the foreign nations over there, then we can use them and y'all to overpower these foreign nations, and the foreign nations could be defeated forever. Corrupted nations like Israel, corrupted nations like Palestine, corrupted nations like, Iran, Turkey, and all these other terroristic nations will all be gone, and they will not be gone, but like the governments will be gone, and then we can have new leaders come in. We can have peaceful Muslims or peaceful whatever come in and reform the countries, and boom, we can have world peace again.
Definitely, definitely, yes. You made a very very good and honest point, honestly, because but the thing is just would be, getting rid of these guys, getting rid of corrupt governments, which is the most important thing about Nigeria genocide. A corrupt government is actually one of the biggest problems we are facing, which is actually, hindering, um, you know, the process of, ending this genocide war against Christians in Nigeria.
And here's the problem with like the whole world, right? You got two groups responsible for like, the world being the shit right now politically, right? You got the one group, which is, the Muslims and the Islamic politicians going around spreading Islam, basically killing anybody that opposes them. And then you got the other group which they hate, but these people were willing to team up with the Muslims against the Christians. You got the Zionists, you got the Israelites, you got those people doing the same thing as the Muslims, and then fighting with the Muslims. And then when it comes to Nigeria, these groups will team up.
That's another, yes, that's another problem. Honestly, we've got the Zionists, we've got the Islam. We know very well that Zionists also, they are against the Christianities in one way or the other. Maybe they might not
And
be
same
as
with the Islams, and that's why with America, because America, we're having this big political debate of which one's right, Zionists or Islams. My take is none of them. None of them are right. They both hate Christians. They both will kill Christianity off the planet if they have too much power. They're both just as bad as each other.
Yes. Just maybe the Zionists might not be so as aggressive as
No, they're
the
not as
Islam.
aggressive because they like to manipulate. Like, they're not as open as the Islams, like the Islam Muslims. They are like more aggressive, more because they don't care about repercussions. The Zionists, like, they put on a mask, but they're still evil. Like, they're still like wanting Christianity gone. They just hold back more. They know how to hold back. They know what time, when's the right time and place to strike. Like, the Zionists like do it more smarter, but they also like they don't do it as aggressively as the Muslims. But they're still there's still a bad problem, but the Islamic politicians are definitely more aggressive, more violent. And my biggest problem, though, is when it comes to Christians, both these groups would join forces with each other. Be like, you know what? We'll create a peace deal. Now let's go after the Christians together. And it's like, fuck both of them.
Yes, 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 yes. That's very, very true. That's very, very correct, honestly. Very, very correct and honest opinion you just made there, honestly. So honestly, the thing is, we some I just like you said earlier, Trump. You need somebody like Trump who has this strong will and mind to actually help Christianity. But anything can happen. He might get influenced tomorrow, and he just changes his mind about the whole thing. You understand? And that's really going to hurt a lot of people down here. That's really a lot of people are actually going to be disappointed. A lot of people are really going to lose faith because they don't know where their help. We don't know how where another help might come from. Because when we heard the news of Donald Trump saying he wants to come in, he's not like what you said. Let him just take it up as as a Christian, not like as a politician or as any other entity. Let him just with the mind of, oh, I'm a Christian, and there are Christians dying in other countries just for fun of it. They are just being killed for being Christians. And yes, you can, it is justified. It will be very, very justified if he can come in as a Christian that, no, my fellow Christian brothers and sisters are being murdered for the fun of it, for just being Christians, for practicing their faith. And yes, I want to go down there and help them. Yes, if he can come with that kind of mindset, honestly, I think he's going to make heaven. Honestly, God is up there watching. We just need somebody who is just going to have that ball, who is just going to have that courage, that mind, and say enough is enough about what is happening in Nigeria or anywhere in the world where Christians are being just massacred for just for their faith. It's
Just
not
like
just for
Trump did, because in 2016, Trump went to the Iranian prime minister and threatened him and say, "Hey, if you hurt any of our citizens or Christians again, I'm going to personally bomb you." He needs to go up to the Nigerian president and look him in the eye and make that same threat and be like, "This ain't even a threat. This is a promise. If I catch you or your vice president or any of your officials harming Christians and you're not doing anything about it and you're letting these people get away with it, I'll personally make sure that you are out of power and that you get arrested and you get punished for your crimes."
exactly. That's
Because the
exactly the kind
Nigerian
of
president doesn't give a fuck until he's threatening. Like, once he's threatened, I feel like the Nigerian president's going to give in, because I don't see him as a guy that has guts at all, because, he would just say anything. Like, I feel like if he gets threatened, that's when he'll actually do something, which honestly, it's like, he should just do it because he wants to do it. Like, we shouldn't even have to threaten this guy to do the right thing. Like, I feel like he needs to be impeached. I feel like your president needs to be out of power, and you need someone in your country that is, because that's the thing. Your country is a Christian country, Christian values. It needs a Christian that's not pro-genocide. Yeah, still allow the Muslims to live there. I'm not saying deport them or kick them out, but we need a president that's going to deal with the terrorists, get rid of the terrorists, deport all the terrorists, and get them out of the country and free Nigeria. That's what we need. And Trump needs to help whoever this person is get in power. Or Trump needs to go down there and meet the politicians, because Trump is good at sniffing out bullshit and picking genuine people. He needs to go to Nigeria, find a genuine leader that hasn't really been heard because he's probably been silenced by the terrorists, prop him up, get him to actually be for Nigeria and free Nigeria. Because if Nigeria has a good leader like that, They don't even need America's help ever again. They can do it on their own. They just need a better leader. They need a better president, because all the presidents that have been coming in the last few years have all just sold Nigeria out. And the current one that's there, 2025, is just going to continue to sell out your country unless something's done or he gets removed.
Definitely, definitely. You are very, very correct about that. Honestly, you're very, very correct.
And I'm not calling, and I just want the viewers to know too, I'm not calling violence for the president, because violence does nothing, but he needs to have his power revoked, removed, because he does not need to be in that position. I think he needs to
Yes,
be in jail at least.
yes, honestly, yes. I know violence is not a good thing. Yes, you are not calling for violence, but to be honest, in this situation, I think that violence against the president of the nation, our president, that President Bola Tinubu, if violence is actually going to solve it, if violence against him is actually going to bring peace, honestly, I'm going to I would actually support violence against him, honestly, because hundred thousands of people have lost their life, and you're pretending as if everything is okay down here. That's evil. That's evil. So
And not only that, but he's also refusing outside help. Like when Trump offered to help, he's like, no, I don't want you helping. I don't want you saving these Christians. Kick rocks. Like that's evil. That's disrespectful. Like that, like at the very least, he needs to be in jail. But honestly, it's like if death happens to him, which that's the thing, I'm not calling for violence, this is just if it happens. If death happens to the president, that's the president's own fault, because he's allowed deaths of innocent Christians for for a whole decade, and he hasn't given a shit. Even when people offered to fix his problems for him, he told them, no, I don't want you fixing my problems for me. Kick rocks. He's part of the problem, and he needs to go. Like you said, if violence against him will solve everything, then that's something that needs to be done. And then that ain't our fault. That ain't your fault. That ain't my fault. That ain't anybody but his own fault. If it happens to him, it's his own fault. And I'm not going to shed a tear if he gets assassinated, because if he gets assassinated, oh, wait, it's because you allowed innocent Christians to be assassinated and you didn't give a fuck. You slept that night and you woke up and you're like, nothing's wrong. Everything's all good, guys. I'm happy, smiling. No, you can't. He shouldn't even be allowed to smile. Like when I saw that picture of him like smiling and shit, I wanted to punch him, because it's like, you are smiling when there's a genocide going on in a country. You shouldn't even be allowed to smile because you're allowing it. Like, how can he even smile? How can he even sleep at night knowing what he's done?
That's to tell them they don't really give a fuck about what is going on here. This is the same president that an attack would happen in his country. They will inform him, oh, these terrorists have gone to strike, they've killed 100 people in so place. He will still go on a foreign trip. He will still go on a foreign trip.
And he's going to go see the people that's actually doing it, and instead of pressing them about it, he's probably going in, having drinks with them, and just being like, hey, guys, how's it going? Oh, yeah, you know that genocide in my country? That's not happening. I'm having fun right now. Like, fuck that guy.
That's just the honest truth. That's the honest truth. So that shows, just like what you're saying, that you saw his picture while he was smiling. It doesn't. It has to tell you that this is somebody who doesn't give a fuck. That's the expression of somebody who does not give a damn about whatever. If everybody can burn, let them burn, as long as I'm okay and I'm getting finances out of it. Highest, maybe even if Nigeria get destroyed, if I'm alive, I could go to any other country and start my life all over. So that's to tell you the kind of evil an average Nigerian politician is. They are
And
ready
I
to.
bet you too, in his mind, he's like, hey, if Nigeria gets taken over by these Muslims, they'll still allow me to be in power. In fact, they'll probably give me a position in their own country, so I'm safe either way. That's what is his mind. That's what he's thinking. He's thinking he's safe either way, because he's basically owned by all these foreign countries. He thinks these foreign countries are going to bail him out of any conflict that he gets him in. And honestly, the reason why he's being so tough against Trump, because he knows that if Trump intervenes, that he's going to use his foreign connections to try to, stop Trump. And basically, like, I feel like if like Trump does intervene, this guy's going to try to get World War III started, because this guy's going to be constantly begging Saudi Arabia, begging Palestine, begging Iran, begging all these countries to go help him against Trump. Be like, guys, Trump is bullying me. He wants me to stop a genocide that I, am, allowing to continue. Can y'all go and, tell him, get him off my ass before World War III happens, and let's cause a whole world war just to get him off my ass? Like that guy. I feel like the president's willing to do that, and that's why it's so hard for America to even help Nigeria, is because the president's making it so hard, because he rather resist and tell us to kick rocks instead of saying, you know what, I'm willing to let y'all come in and help. I'm willing to let y'all fix my problem for me. Trump, like, he's lucky Trump ain't calling for him to be arrested. He's lucky that Trump's like, hey, fix your country before we come and fix it for you. He's lucky he got that, because if it was me, if I was president, I would be like, you have 24 hours to arrest these terrorists before I issue you an arrest. I would have gotten it approved by Congress to make this guy a wanted criminal and have him arrested for being a war criminal.
Exactly. Honestly, that would have been the best idea. Not even telling him to fix your country. If you don't fix it, the best thing President Trump would have just done is just giving him 24 hours ultimatum, and if there's nothing significant, if there's nothing important that has been, if nothing positive is coming from your action after 24 hours, just invade the country, invade the whoever you want to blow, you blow, whoever you want to kill, you kill, for peace to reign. Honestly, I'm telling you, that is exactly what an average Christian Nigeria is just hoping for every day. We go to sleep and we wake up, we're always like, when is Trump gonna come? Just like, okay, today now I'll be going to church, and definitely I'm going to meet one or two brothers, and we'll be talking about these kids that were just kidnapped from a Catholic church. Yes, and this thing would have just, when is Trump going to come? When is he going to come? Because 300 have been kidnapped now. If nothing is done between now and next week, I don't know how many are going to be kidnapped in the next, days. Maybe 1,000, or over 1,000 are going to be kidnapped. So it's really getting dirtier every day. Honestly, we are just hoping, when is he coming? Honestly, when is he coming? Let him just take this thing up, as it's not a war of how would I put it now, two countries fighting, and you are trying to take a side of one country. Maybe Nigeria is at war with Ghana, and President Trump is saying he's coming to help Nigeria. That is not the situation here. The situation here is Nigeria government is in support of terrorists that are killing its own people. So honestly, any sane leader that takes up that responsibility now, coming into Nigeria within the next 24 hours, with the minimum, with a minimum time of threat or warning that, hey, President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria, get your home fixed from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. If nothing tangible, if nothing reasonable, if you're not coming up with any reasonable plan, we are coming in. Honestly, I don't think there's any meaningful. People who will be shouting that, oh, why is Trump coming in? But they can't do any shit. And yes, there are going to be a majority of Nigerian Christians who will be saying, yeah, even some Muslims, some reasonable Muslims, yes, who are in support of Trump coming, because these terrorists are also killing Muslims too. So any reasonable person should be in support of President Trump's idea of coming to help. any reasonable Nigerian citizen should be in support of President Trump coming to help us. So we
And I'm
haven't
sure
killed
there are,
every.
like, the only people I've seen that's not in support is literally either politicians or the
Official.
president himself.
Yes, majority of the people who are not in support are politicians. Then maybe some few Muslim people who do not actually know what they are doing. There are some Muslims that on they just hate everything about America. Once they hear America, they just feel okay. America killed Osama bin Laden, and they just have this natural hatred for them because they know that America is a country that does not give a shit about their Islamic,
Beliefs.
atrocities and all a way of life. So, and they see America as a Christian nation. So once they hear anything about Christianity like that, they are always against it. So I'm very, the majority of the citizens of Nigeria, over 80%, are in support of Donald Trump coming into Nigeria and getting rid of these terrorists once and for all, honestly, once and for all. Because I'm telling you, as I am now, today is Sunday, I'll be going to church, but I'll be in church in fear. In front of my church, there's a military vehicle which is steadily parked there, just in case if there's going to be any form of threat from this Islamic terrorist. Something that is not supposed to be
But it's
happening here.
really it's really fearful because the fact that the owner of the military, the president, is kind of in on it, so you don't really know if you could trust the own military to protect you.
We can't trust the military to protect us, but at least we just have to, inform the police whenever we are going to all the small churches in the villages have been burned down. Where you can see bigger churches are in the capital states, where you have a more military personnel and more police officers on ground. So it's something I never grew up with, and you see kids, my kids now will have to grow up with the idea of, going to church and, seeing military with their guns, with their, ammunitions and all that. Something that is not supposed to be. A church is supposed to be a peaceful place of worship where you come, worship your God in peace. Within 1, 2, 3 hours, you are done with church service or mass, and you go back home. But these days now, you see children coming into the church, they see military officers with gun, and you start asking questions: Is this a church, or is this a military a barrack, or something that is not supposed to be? All because some idiots woke up one morning and say, "Oh, Nigeria is not supposed to be only. It's not supposed to be for Christians. Nigeria is supposed to be men. It's supposed to be for Muslims. It's supposed to be a Muslim nation." Which is it's terrible, it's disheartening, honestly it is.
I agree. Like, it's just disheartening that all of this is going on. But it's been which you've been on here for 2 hours, and I really do appreciate you coming on. And also, it's like, I want to have you come back on more, especially like when stuff happens, like when Trump, actually comes, goes in and does some stuff. I'll have you on. I also want to, have you on for, like, a Christmas special as well and all that. But I appreciate you coming in and giving me 2 hours to talk about what's all going on. Basically, telling the truth about,
uh,
Nigeria and the foreign countries that are ruining Nigeria. Like, all this stuff is definitely stuff that needs to definitely be talked more about in the future.
yeah, wow. Yeah, I honestly, I really appreciate you guys the most, honestly, because I'm very sure as this podcast is going on, there are lots of people watching, and bringing their attention to what is going on the more, and spreading the news. This is more like, spreading the gospel. Let the whole world know what is happening to Christians down here. They are trying to suppress us, they are trying to kill us, they are trying to eradicate us. I really appreciate you guys, man. I really appreciate Raven Cast podcast. You guys are
Of
doing a
course, and I
great job.
appreciate
God
you
bless
for
you.
coming on and telling your story. Like, you are definitely a strong Christian, and we're definitely praying for you. And you're always welcome back on. And in fact, in
Yeah.
like a few weeks, I'm gonna hit you up back up again, probably after Thanksgiving, because tomorrow I'm doing a stream with another streamer, and then after that, we're taking a week long like vacation for Thanksgiving. But after Thanksgiving, once I come back, probably like either like probably like Friday or the weekend, I'll probably, have you back on to give more updates and, see if Trump's responded or not on everything and, basically keep the story coming because this story's not ending anytime soon. And I feel like we definitely need to, bring coverage on and also give you a platform to speak when, stuff happens. And I really do appreciate you picking this platform to tell your story on. I know we're not like the biggest platform, but there's been like, there's like 5-6 people watching and also been DM'd by, a few people, mainly this guy named Jalen. Like he said this hit him because he's a Black African American that's in America. And he's also a Christian and he wanted to listen in because, because you're a Nigerian and Nigeria going through the genocide. And there's also a lot of people that have DM'd me and said, that this has been educational for them because a lot of people in America don't know what's going on in Nigeria. And I feel like we need to keep on having these segments so people know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially younger people. Because younger
Yeah.
people are going to take over the generations. And I feel like if this generation does not fix what's going on in Nigeria, the future generation would definitely need to fix what's going on.
Definitely.
But yeah, I know it's late over there, so I'm going to let you, go ahead and so you can get some sleep and all that for church. I really appreciate you coming on. God bless you, and I hope you have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. All right. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
of
Yeah, thanks so
course.
much. Yeah, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. You take care.
All right, take care.
This has been Chudi from Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, great segment. Probably better segment than last time because it was a lot more longer. 2 hour segment. So it was a really good segment. So Glitch, are you wanting to cover that one Nintendo thing? You want to wait till tomorrow with Ryan? It's up to you.
We'll wait until tomorrow with Ryan because it's already late. It's almost.
Yeah, it's already like three hours into the show, so I feel like we're gonna call it. Thank you to everyone that's been watching the show. I really appreciate it. It's been a big one. I know it's been a really important one. We covered Nintendo for a little bit, and then we talked to Chudi about stuff going on in Nigeria. I appreciate everyone going. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow here on the show at 5 p.m. EST to launch our very new Now Court show with Ryan. Until then, I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good one. All right, Glitch, you can end it now.
All right.